Welcome everybody to MogTalk. If you're unfamiliar with MogTalk, it's a show based around the Final Fantasy XIV community discussing everything from Savage Raiding to Chocobo Racing. And I'm very sorry for the technical issues we've had today so far. It was a little crazy. I'm a little bit de-res, but you know what? I'm just old school, so it'll be fine. Let me go ahead and introduce our guest, though, so you don't just kind of hang out there without saying anything. If people are like, who the fuck are these people on the show? So let's do it. Round clock, clockwise, whatever. Rin, can you tell everybody who you are?
Hi everybody, I'm Rin Karigani. I'm a Final Fantasy XIV raider. I like to main tank and play in Savage and Ultimate raids and do all kinds of crazy stuff like no equipment level 1 runs of Ultimates. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah. Solo level 1, Ultimate, yeah. Alright. Balana?
Hey, hello, I am Balana. I'm a washed up raider. I used to do World Prog, but hopefully we'll get back into it with the 6.0. I was thinking about it the other day. I haven't been I haven't been on static for like 14 months now, and I missed one tier.
Wow.
The absolute state of the game right there.
Don't say that. We don't want to think about that.
So I've been playing a lot of WoW Classic lately, but I did come in and check out the patch in 14 here, and Frosty found a nice little clip from WoW to put in the intro there. Thank you, Frosty. It's somehow you found like you have a magical gift where you can very quickly find like the one part of whatever stream where the person's just doing as bad as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I went in there and I clicked 2 times and then boom, I saw, oh, web, great. Going in for the clip. That's all you only have WoW on your channel anyway, so we'll throw that on there.
That's true. That's true.
All right, Oryza.
Hi, I'm Oryza. I play Osu. That's about it now.
You're still a little low, but
I'm sorry. No,
it's okay.
I'm also a World Prog raider, but as Blonde said, there's nothing to. We're kind of on. I just haven't played the game since a fateful live letter 3 months ago, so I've been playing a lot of Osu and other stuff. But you know, I played patch 5.5 and I liked it, so that's why I'm here.
Okay.
I guess.
I was about to say, yeah, we were going to do a show about the patch 5.5 today, but I just brought on 3 people who haven't played in like 14 months.
We're here to make tier lists.
Yeah, we're here to make tier lists.
YouTube loves tier lists.
They do. All right, so patch 5.5. There's only a handful of things in there that like directly stand out to me. There's stuff that we can talk about, but like restoration stuff, I still haven't touched it. I don't have interest in it.
I finally went through and completed all the quests in the firmament. I hadn't done any of the story there. I did the competition the last season and I got in like the top 12 or whatever. But I didn't touch any of the quests. And there are a lot of quests there. Holy crap. There's a whole ass story. You learn all about Ishgard and the people coming together, and gee whiz, wasn't Heavensford great? That's all I really got out of it. It was like 3 hours just for like the main story quest part of it to unlock the new collectible delivery.
That's where people get the dragon mount, right? With the hammer. I think it's a mount attached.
I don't know. I don't remember. There might be. I haven't really looked too deep into it. It's a weekly gated content, and I didn't do the little dragon guy first either. So
yeah. So sorry if anyone was coming and wanting to talk about the 5.5 Guardian restoration stuff, because I don't know how much we'll have to talk on it.
Oh, they added new crafter weapons too.
Yeah.
You got to do 90 expert crafts for each one.
Are those the upgraded relics, or are they actually new things? Like
they're completely different. They're through Yulmore now. It's yellow script grind basically, and it's comparable to the other two. Like there's reasons why you would use the crafted one over this new one versus the relic. They all have like their kind of like strengths and weaknesses, but they're basically on par.
They're tools, by the way.
Yes,
not weapons.
They're main hand weapons.
People with a frying pan.
Yeah, I guess that's true. All right. So things that are on our bucket list of things to talk about and make sure that we just do it, because they are important to. I think they made a significant mark. The Extreme for sure, right? There's a lot of talk about how the Extreme was done really well, and I'm curious from your point of view. Why is this a good fight? Why is the Diamond Extreme better than all the other weapon extremes?
Well, I'd say for a few reasons.
Okay.
No oversoul. No minute
It's got
long
overmind now instead of oversoul.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah.
I would say, I mean, the mechanics are actually interesting because Ruby Weapon and Emerald just kind of like hit you with things we've known for many, many years. And Diamond Weapon sort of does that, but also makes you adjust. So there's a little bit of thinking and a couple ways to do it. And I would say if somebody wants to get into an ultimate, this fight kind of teases you into one of the crux mechanics of learning T. But outside of that, it's kind of fun. You're out in the open space. I like that. It's got multi phases and you get 2 totems for 10 minutes, which isn't too bad. So the grind isn't so bad.
Yeah, the arena isn't just a fucking circle. We actually have some interactions and things going on. It's 2 rectangles this time, and you can like zip between them with a cooldown.
Yes.
So again, that like moving back and forth between the platforms actually gives the fight like a really good flow, I feel. It's like, you know, you solve a mechanic and then you have to switch sides, and you solve a mechanic, you have to switch sides. And it's I like it. It's got a good tempo to at least that part of it. I don't care too much for the phase 2 when he's like dashing around and jumping and stuff. That's kind of
You learn the cheese for it, and then it's like 1 of 2 spots, and then you're done.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt that in phase 2, it was like quite a bit of actually, or at least this primal in general has quite a bit of like watching the bosses, or boss, I guess, and seeing what it's doing, whether it's stack or spread, left or right, which orb he's jumping to, where the hands are. There's like a lot of like arena awareness that you need to have in this fight. That's like, it's constant. It's like almost every single mechanic, other than the raid wide and the tank buster, I think, pretty much has like a visual tell that you have to check. Like, is he gonna dash down the middle or not? Like stuff like that. And I think I'm pretty sure that's like, I mean, other fights do this, but Diamond Weapon does it way more, and it feels a lot more engaging because you have to constantly be paying attention. Whereas like in Emerald, I'm just like, I'm just hitting glare. Now I'm walking in a circle. Now I'm hitting glare again. I'm like, yeah.
It reminded me a bit of a lot of the Delubrum fights have that, where you have to be like paying attention to the boss and like seeing exactly what it's doing. There's a lot of mechanics in there that you have to like keep an eye on the actual model instead of just the cast bar.
That's like no cast or anything. You're like, okay, did Diamond Weapon just open up its shoulders, or did it take a giant cannon out of its chest? Which is cool. And at the beginning of the fight, they actually have like role play in chat that you could pay attention to as well. And then later on in the fight, they take that away, so it's kind of like a gotcha. But like Ori's saying, we're paying attention to the arena where there's like orbs spawning off, and you got to turn your camera. And I watched a number of people prog the fights after I cleared to just watching on streams, and there's a lot of the arena people didn't look at, and then they couldn't figure it out because they just weren't seeing the information. And I think the last time I really paid attention to it, I mean, I try to look around always, but I remember Sophia had something similar to that as well, where you paid attention to like
the weights.
With the tethers and stuff, and you could figure it out that way. But there aren't too many things in this game that make us do that, so I liked it.
Okay. I mean, do you think that this is like going to be their new thing that they just push into Endwalkers? It's just visual tales for all their raid fights.
I'd be happy if they did. Sephiroth was one of my favorite trials. That was a really cool one. But
I mean, they've been doing visual tells for a while, right? It's just
they have with cast bars accompanied.
Yeah, but I mean, like if they make it like a main feature.
Untelegraphed.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, I'm just gonna let you know, I spent 40 minutes in Extreme, so I haven't been able to devour that content as much. I've watched it a good bit. I've seen the fight play out. I know there's like a 12-minute enrage.
Yes, the fight's exactly 12 minutes.
Oh, I never saw that far.
Yeah.
Oh, I have.
I started seeing the second limit cut. I'm like, nope, kill it.
There's a third.
Oh boy,
that third one's the enrage, and we had like 2 tanks for the last 6% because it doesn't really hurt. The fight doesn't put out a lot of damage, and it doesn't require a lot of damage because it was tuned for like item level 5-10 as a catch-up trial, right, to get you into Savage. So
yeah, actually, even then, my group did it mid-eye level originally, and we killed it after the second limit cut.
Yeah, you guys blew right through it.
So even at mid-eye level, it's not really like much of a check.
Yeah. Half my group was in like 5-10 gear, and we were just dying all over the place. We still skipped that second limit cut. I think Happy walked off on her kill actually by accident.
Actually,
so that's on his YouTube now.
We did it with 8 tanks and still skipped mechanics. Now that I'm thinking about it, and we were playing conservatively.
Yeah, the DPS check isn't really there. It's which is good for like a catch-up boss for something for people to come back to. And hey, I need a new shiny weapon. There you go. Just go kill this thing 5 times. It'll take you an hour.
Yeah, I actually don't really think it makes sense to have DPS checks on extreme trials in general, given that like they're the first like real like raids that people do. Like it's more of an introduction to like, hey, you need to do mechanics. If you don't, you die and you might kill other people. And like the DPS check, like, there's just one to make sure that your group doesn't absolutely fall apart. Like my group that enraged, like I did a random pug that enraged, and it's like you got a 0 DPS healer, you got a DPS who died 6 times to random stuff. It's like total of like 15 deaths across the poll. It's like, yeah, you saw enraged, but that's because you like your team as a whole played really, really poorly.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess it's just them showing that there's always going to be some limit, right? If you're really so bad that okay, that's wrong.
I like having the enrages. If you just went into Savage and there was no enrage in any other content, you'd be completely mind blown. And the game already does a bad job of teaching you to do damage.
It's the normal raids, they just loop. They don't have an actual enrage. So
the old ones used to. Now they don't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's good to have these enrages, even if they're like kind of far off. Even in normal content, I think it would be a good idea. Maybe not stuff you have to do every day, like daily dungeons. That would be kind of shitty because you just don't really have, a choice always who you're playing with. But if you're going into like these groups,
Actually, speaking of enrages and dungeons, I was thinking about this.
Okay.
So this might be a spoiler for the 5.5 dungeon if anyone hasn't done it yet. I guess
this
like
is
you should
a
assume
spoiler if they
5.5
watch the show. So
okay, yeah, the last boss of Pogothon is Bahamut, right? And he does Akmorn, which does more blasts every time he does it. So I was wondering if you like lasted long enough, would he just do like a 20 blast Akmorn, and then like eventually if it's big enough, you'll die.
That Akmorn tickles though. After. Yeah, you're gonna need to go to like 50 stacks or something before it even becomes like close to lethal.
I feel like there's
the new cross mechanic, right? That hurts like the dickens if the player doesn't move out of it.
Does it?
It's rapid attacks, yeah.
My ninja just stood in it because he thought it would follow him, and I was like okay, I'll just heal him, I guess.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, I guess that does exist in some way too. If they like do like the Bahamut stacking, so it's like a soft enrage that just never gets hard. If that's is that the one way to say it? I guess
it's like J waves, right? It eventually overtakes you.
Yeah,
eventually, without damage up, just
yeah.
But I mean, introducing this because it puts the thought into people's heads that they have to do something, right? They have to try. All right, our DPS is not good. It's so bad that we can't kill it 4 minutes earlier than most people can kill this fight. And so it kind of forces players to think about DPS because some people don't. They just like clicking buttons.
Yeah, there's it's something that's kind of a problem with the game where the healers technically get immediate feedback on if they're performing well or not. Is everybody alive? Yes, no. Tanks get immediate feedback on if they're doing well or not. They're holding the boss. They're not dying. They're doing well. DPS, you don't know if you did good or not on this poll. Or there's no exact like pushback unless you know how long the boss generally takes. And if you're hitting enrage is like the only real like hard feedback the game gives you that, hey, you're not doing a lot of damage.
But even then, it could be your teammates not doing the damage, and you could be, for all you know.
Exactly.
You know what they could do, and this is a way to work around everything. It's like create like some sort of like performance meter, all right? And then have it to where if you're, depending on how much damage you're doing, that meter goes up, and you want that meter to always be at 100%. All you gotta do is like minimum required damage. It hits 100%. And you're like, holy shit, I'm keeping 100% on this bar the entire fight. They feel good. They're not comparing themselves to other players. They're just doing 100% of what the game says you need to do.
There was a mock-up somebody did a long time ago of was it Faust Sama, and it was like a little like report card that would show up at the end of the raid and be like, it was a picture of Faust with like a like thing pointing towards a board, and it would be like A rank or B, B, C, C, or whatever, depending on how the DPS did.
You got to get triple S.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It doesn't need to be public to everyone, just you.
Yeah.
So you have something to shoot for, right? You have something to go for, and no one needs to know how bad you're doing in game with standard tools, I suppose.
I think that kind of idea is like interesting, but I always feel like I don't know if I would trust Square Enix specifically to make something like that, given their history of not knowing how players do their rotation and not knowing how much damage jobs should do. And obviously, like, you know, a rating thing should be rated against like some percentage of like, you know, like you're doing 80% of the theoretical best or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like those ratings will either get out of whack, like out of hand and completely inaccurate very quickly, or they would just be easy for everyone to get all S's or something. Which way I think the second would be fine. But I think all you have to do is take a look at Stone Sky C
that ends right before a 3-minute burst.
Yeah, and it's just like
and some jobs just don't play well off of that.
The check on that thing is like totally inaccurate, and it's not equally inaccurate for everyone. It's like different jobs on different fights can vary wildly in how inaccurate it is. So you would expect a report card to be the same or worse.
I guess we're stuck with FF logs.
What is that?
Yeah. What?
I don't use third-party tools.
Yeah, no. I mean, technically, I don't. I'm like one of the only people in the world who's fucking just so lazy that he doesn't mess with it. My logs get up there because people post them for me.
Yeah. So. What can you do?
Oh, what can I do?
Somebody with my same name uploaded it. It's weird. Must be a fan.
But no, I think that like I don't know. I guess you're right. They would be inaccurate, and it definitely just needs to be like, this is really good, but it's not the best you can do. Never the best. Like the best needs to be past whatever the best on the report card is, because we just need people to shoot for something realistic that raiders can get. But I don't know. Maybe they'll take screenshots of it and then send it. Be like, I didn't do bad. Look at my report card, and just like you send it to the other people. Yeah,
you're inviting a lot of toxicity with that. I mean, you'll finish raid like, everybody give me your report cards. Hand them in, suckers, or your kids.
Post them or you're not joining the party.
DM
screenshots.
You need your transcripts to join this party. Come on.
And yes, we are talking about the patch, dude. All right, we're talking. This is part of the patch. We're talking about a 12-minute enrage on the extreme, and then it turns into a tangent about how Square Enix handles enrages.
One other thing, actually, to tie that into the Stone Sky C, this extreme is pretty well known for, I guess, like having very small amounts of downtime all over the place, which can really screw with people's rotations. In particular, or I don't really know, but I've heard Paladin get screwed.
90s. 90s get screwed.
90s get screwed. Okay, yeah. So Warrior, Dark Knight, Monk, and Stone Sky C doesn't account for that at all. Like, and like a big part of playing melee, is, you know, or I guess in general accounting for downtime with buff alignment, but melee specifically getting melee uptime, casters getting their casting uptime when they don't have instance, and like that's So I think like every fight's different. So if they were to do a report card thing, they would have to like specially tune it for every single fight, which would be a lot of dev time, and it would be increasing amounts of dev time every time they added new jobs too.
Like you take Diamond Weapon, you're leaving phase 1, and you're about ready to do your 60-second burst. Boss goes away, comes back, you use it. 2 minutes aren't ready yet. So what do? Do you use Trick there, or do you wait until after and then use it again? You're going to lose use at some point. So how do you sync it up? Who has burst where? Most players in this game aren't going to know who has what burst and when. Only players that are used to syncing up buffs are already going to know that. And then even
that doesn't need to be
fight
taught.
Like that is like,
yeah, I don't think that needs to be taught. That's just something that people learn by getting better overall. But basics, you know, doing a rotation, I think, you know, there should be some sort of bar for them to hit.
The Hall of the Intermediate. Where it at though?
Yes.
Yeah,
you can
that's
definitely
true.
make a very like a low bar that like pretty much anyone can hit on any fight. So like for example, I think for Diamond Weapon, you can say like is like a healer doing like it's like 7k DPS, which is like not good, but like it's definitely, no matter what fight you are in, at least at this current eye level, you can hit that number. Like every single fight you can hit that number if in like pretty much any party. And if you have to do so much healing or raising that you can't hit that number, you probably wiped anyway. So
or you're using the wrong heals.
Yeah.
Like some people just don't use some buttons.
Wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, like me.
Yeah, Clemency isn't going to cast
So
itself.
you could definitely make like a bar that's like a lot easier to hit than it doesn't really have any delineation past that, but for what you're talking about, that could be fine.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Diamond Weapon. It is a good extreme. I mean, they have some stuff in there, like the platform, them making it to where, Rin, I love you changing the background every time. You're like manually doing it. But yeah, Diamond Weapon. It's having an arena that kind of splits in half. This is the first time we've had a big boss in the middle of an arena, right? That, I guess
Suzaku was in the middle of a donut.
Oh, I guess she was,
Well,
wasn't
Suzaku.
she? And Suzaku never moved.
Good luck,
Suzy-
Red
She does,
Mages.
she does.
And Suzuki.
She does.
She
In
will
the
move.
forced march, she leaves the center, and then right after she teleports back to the center.
Oh yeah, well she always goes back, I guess.
You
yeah.
can also pull her out in between mechanics if you know a Dragoon's got a jump coming up.
Yeah.
Don't. Not advised. But no, Diamond is just stationary there
Yeah.
until the second phase when it gains positionals and turns, but also forces you to go to certain spots.
Yeah. That
Sounds like
has to be
its
fun
sword.
for melee.
Yes.
I hate playing melee. I suck so bad at it. I just can't do it. So props to everyone who does melee, especially on this fight. Where like I see all the jumping around, and it does look like it's pretty much straightforward. You go to your one spot, you look and see where he's facing, and you go not to the way that he's about to charge. But you just have to know, right? You just have to know, all right, after he does this, he's going to stomp on the ground. And then you have to be next to him.
There's a rhythm where you send like a light party to one side, and as soon as a mechanic resolves the other light party, you're either forced to that side or you swap because you have another mechanic coming up where you have to be split. And then it brings back like an old cruise chaser type mechanic where there's three things that are going to happen. The first one is one of two. The second one's always going to be the same thing. And then the third one is the last one you didn't see. So you know what's coming up in advance, as long as you recognize that.
Is there anything special to the Ruby weapon mode? Is there
It's the
anything
claw,
different?
which is just what it does on the other two.
Yeah. So that's like the draw nothing, I guess.
It
blank
takes
card.
more mechanics from Sapphire Weapon than it does from Ruby.
Yeah.
Wait, it takes mechanics from the other weapons?
Yeah. when it gets the cannon and you have to stack and it says loading Sapphire Weapon.
It says that.
Yeah. There's already on the first
Yeah,
one.
and then for it says loading Emerald Shot and then it does the spread.
Okay.
Don't worry, I
knew
didn't really
about that
notice
one.
it
I knew
either.
about the spread one, but I didn't know about the other, so I was really confused by it. What I was going to say was that as far as the movements go that you're referring to, Frosty, I was actually thinking that Diamond Weapon, despite us saying that, like, this, a lot of people are saying this trial is really good. It's also, I actually think this trial is one of the easiest ones they put out for a while. I think it's easier. I actually think it's, like, I don't know, maybe Pugs think differently, but I feel like it's easier than Ruby and Emerald. And I think, I don't know. Well, I also think that, like, easy fights can be really fun. Suzaku, as we talked about, I think that's a really good example of that. It's one of my favorite fights. It's also very easy. But this fight in particular, the vast majority of the fight is follow the leader, except for spread mechanics. Like, off the top of my head, the only thing where you can't just follow, like, you can pretty much follow the healer in your group or, like, the tank in your group for every single mechanic except for limit cut. The spread mechanic, which is, it's just a spread, so it doesn't even matter where you go, and the towers, but there's 4 towers and 4 of you just got to choose, and that's it. Like, everything else, you just follow someone, and like you'll clear. And we actually had 6 cleared people and 2 people who had never been in there before, and we one-shot it because we just like told them where to go, and they just they just went where we said, and then we just one-shot the fight, and we're like, okay, that's cool.
I took a group of 7 fresh and we cleared in 3 pulls.
Wow.
Just because we had somebody to talk. Although some pugs are really bad at following the shrapnel chasers, where you bait an AoE on the ground and then they chase you 4 times. You're supposed to do it as a group. Sometimes you'll just see them all over the place.
Yeah, it's true.
I feel like Emerald was a little bit easier. Maybe like once you know all the mechanics, like once you get through it, Emerald is definitely the like you can follow the leader for everything in Emerald except for there's like a Protean, right? So
yeah, but that solves itself because you kind of pair up at the beginning of the fight anyway.
And it's the tiniest Protean ever too. It's a very very little like tiny one, and but I mean Diamond's still like it's a good fight to get into. It's an easy like kind of starter fight. It's a good welcome back to the game. Here, have 2 totems. You only need to clear this 5 times per weapon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think
it teaches aggro, right? It teaches aggro, it teaches spacing out, it teaches grouping up. And if you want to challenge the fight, I mean, you could do same side where you stay on the same platform the whole time, and then you got to work out mitigation. So that could become a nice training tool. I know that Zeph Zeora's group did it. That was really impressive. You could do challenge runs like tank stuff. You could do different things with the fight.
Tank stuff? What are you talking about, Rin?
Yeah. Like a whole bunch of tanks. And then you could just ignore every mechanic that happens. All of them.
I gotcha.
But in general, I don't know. I think Diamond is... I think Ruby and Emerald were easier. I definitely think Seed of Sacrifice wins like the trial of the expansion in my mind. And then I'd probably put Diamond Weapon because it's not too bad and it's a nice catch-up fight for people right now when they don't want to be grinding something for like 7 weeks. And then probably a tie between like Innocence and Memoria were pretty good fights, I thought.
I would agree with that generally, yeah.
And it's funny, you know, people always talk about fights being fun or not and associate it to difficulty. But I mean, that's not really always the case. You just need to have a good fight. That's interesting. It shows you stuff that's not the exact same that you've seen already.
Yeah, they're like loosely correlated, but there are definitely hard fights that are not fun at all. I'm actually trying to think of one.
A7 where you're trying to like figure out the ball rolling around A7. And you're like, hey, it's like 10 feet away from me, but I'm dead.
A4 was kind of boring.
Yeah.
A4, yeah. It was kind of boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So it's probably a stupid question, but did any of you guys watch the story or pay attention to the story for...
I'm going to go get my food real quick.
Okay. So story-wise, I'm just going to put my 2 cents in there. I like kind of darker story stuff and, you know, being... spoilers for anyone who didn't know, a show about patch 5.5 was going to have spoilers in it. Having, I guess... someone's kids absorbed into machines and die, it's a little dark.
Or adoptive kids.
Yeah, I mean, it adds is own little flavor.
Kids at all.
Yeah. Adoptive. Like, they're not imported because they're adopted. Balana, what the fuck?
They gotta lighten it up a little bit. They gotta put a little bit of silver lining around it, you know?
Okay, all right.
They're together in the end.
Oh, geez.
They are all together in the end. But it's just fucking backgrounds. But yeah, no, it was. I think it was good. It was kind of enjoyable. It's still weird having Gaius be like, "Hey, I'm just kind of around part of your story, doing this side stuff now. You know, this is just my little side thing that's going on."
I thought they might have killed him off at the end of the series, but they're letting the old wolf go. I guess he'll be our when we do the Garlemald restoration, he'll be our Francel there. That'll be great.
Yeah, he has to play a bigger role coming up in the next expansion. I think like Gaius in general, when he first showed up, I was like, oh, this is gonna be our main guy for fighting the Asians, right? But I kind of forgot about him in the main story, and he did his own little thing. Like, this wasn't about Asians anymore. This was about weapons.
But then him and Nestinian had a bro adventure, and it was great.
Yeah. I guess, like, they were just done. He was like, I went into the city, I had that fight, it was kind of crazy, we left, and then, all right, let's fuck up these. I mean, this is part of the Garlean story in some way, right? They're making weapons and everything else.
I mean, it's a side story. It is what it is. It's a little kind of thing that happens over off on the side, and Gaius doesn't have to get too involved. He can be kind of, there, and then also go off and do whatever important shit he's going to do in 6.0.
Well, he's collecting like all these masks of the Asians. I thought he was just going to go kill a whole bunch of them and just like keep collecting them.
That was the hype. That was the hype moment.
That's what was weird to me, is that they kind of, I understand this arc, it makes sense, but like I was hyped to like just see him like murdering Asians and collecting their mask, and just like he's this big person with all these masks around and has this new armor is made out of a mask of Asians. I don't know. I was hoping for something like that.
He's working on the Majora's Mask crossover.
Here we go.
But no, it was good. It was fine. I was happy with it. Oryza, did anything stand out about the story to you for this? Was it like any shiny, flashy things that you were like, oh, that's real shiny and flashy?
That new zone had a cool fountain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no solo instance, so that was neat.
Okay. Yeah.
The intro cutscene to Emerald was cool, but sorry, not Emerald, Diamond. But I was really confused, and I thought it was Emerald, and then I thought it was Sapphire, and then it wasn't either of those.
I kind of thought we were going to have to fight with the robot again. I didn't really understand what happened there, because it was just like, well, the robot's your airship. It's pulling your airship.
Yep.
They turned it into a mechanism to capture the diamond weapon.
What's holding up the other platform though?
Another one. It looks like Ultima weapon. It's like a red one. I don't know where they got it.
Oh yeah. Sid.
Yeah, it's just there.
Sid and Nero. Nero made the other one.
Yeah.
But like we found all these elegant parts in this Garlemald tech, and like, oh yeah, we have it too, just lying around. Sure.
Yeah, we figured it out. We made it, and then it just like falls off, and then they're like, okay, well, it's back now. It came back, and just like they repair it, like while we're in the fight or something. I don't.
Yeah.
Fantasy. But it did. I was hoping we would control it at some point, and that we would fight it, because we had one instance, I think, of us actually controlling a G Warrior, right?
Yeah.
New Game Plus lets us replay it now.
Oh yeah.
Do it again.
So we
same
if
fight.
we
over
really
and
want
over.
to, I guess.
What a good use of resources.
Yeah.
Well, they said it's coming back or something, right? In the future, did they say something like that?
It'll get thrown in PvP mode, and a lot of people will use it there.
It'll be back.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Rival Wings 2.
The story was pretty good though. I thought it was pretty dark, like you said, which was nice, and it felt like they were really high quality cutscenes for side content that people might not ever do after this expansion. I thought it was a pretty good story.
The villain was a little bit too like mustache twirling, but I mean, you fit in.
Yeah. And then in the MSQ they referenced, Bozja and Werlit, so I guess to like kind of go do it.
Please do this content. You only have a little bit more before it's just gone. I mean, I haven't finished Eureka, but people still go back and do it.
Oh yeah.
It's weird to think about that too. How active is Eureka right now?
We're probably going to get more Eureka references in the near future with the way the story went. If you paid attention to it, there's some Charlian hints going in now.
Okay. Yeah. We could talk a little bit about the main story quest if you. We'll hold on now. Let's hold on that for a little bit. Yeah, we can hold on that.
But Eureka's good content. Go do it.
Yeah.
Nothing left to do for like the next 12 months.
Well, so still on the extreme spectrum, did you guys do the Unreal did you do Or Letter?
I did back in 2.1.
So yeah. There was a party up that had duty complete required, and I messaged them and I said, I killed this fight 700 times back when it came out. Can I come? And they took off the duty complete so I could join. Because the fights are the same. They didn't change. They were pretty good, but I've done that with tanks too.
Yeah, it does take some. God,
that's hard. That's hard because there is an ad in there that if you do not kill it or get it stunned off in time, it is going to wipe you. It's going to annihilate your group.
8 tanks who you can't imagine someone's going to stun, right?
Actually, we just we went back to the old shield bash tech and we just saved IR. We're like 5 warriors all using in a release at the same time. That ad went down.
Oh my god!
But I checked.
Is that the one that fears everybody?
Yeah, the dread wash.
Yeah.
So I haven't. And I'll be honest, I haven't done any of the Unreal since they started it up. Because I'm like, well, I've already did that fight a lot. And there's other fights that kind of interest me more. And I feel like if I go in there, I would have forgotten something, and then people are going to start making fun of me for not being able to clear a fight I already beat a whole bunch of times.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
sorry, I really hate this fight.
It's easier than it used to be. You have things like arm's length in your arsenal now, and just a lot of tools that you didn't have before. So the difficulty of these old fights are just gone.
I mean, we were speaking about needing to look around the arena before. Is this the OG? You need to look where Leviathan's splashing up from?
You could hear where it's going to splash from, or you could watch half the arena, and if you don't see it, it's behind you, and people still mess that up.
Mm-hmm.
No, the reason I hate this fight is the healing, dude. I don't know, you guys haven't healed it, but Briny Mirror is
with the Briny
bullshit,
No,
dude.
it's not so bad.
Bullshit. It's so bad, dude. It's so bad. If you don't have a scholar, it's awful.
It's okay if the Briny player is a warrior.
Okay, yeah, but our Briny player was
not a warrior or a paladin.
It was a gunbreaker.
Okay.
And we had Astro White Mage, and it was the worst. It was so bad. Oh,
that it reduces your range on each heal, right?
Yeah, so it was to the point where I had to be in about melee range to do anything, because I had like 12 stacks at one point. Yep. They're like bending me. I'm like, I can't. I have to run across the arena to get to you.
I completely forgot about that mechanic.
Oh yeah, and then you had the water
healer.
streams that people grab and had to pull away and kite and stuff, and like people still aren't too sure on that. And like the big thing was that Leviathan would knock you off the arena and you could not be rezzed, right? That's still true. You will not be rezzed if you fall off. Now you have like gap closers you can use. So like I'm just staying near where the boss is going to appear and then just onslaught right away and forget about it. And things like that aren't. It really takes away from the difficulty. But I thought it was neat that Leviathan and Diamond came out at the same time, because you get the was it Ori something? It's where it does the dashes in phase 2 and it looks like Ifrit. And immediately I was like, this is kind of like Leviathan with the way it jumps with the orbs. The one section where it's going to turn after it does the zigzag, and it's going to turn and dash one side or the other.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
I correlated the two of them, and then when we went into Leviathan later and people hadn't done it, I'm like, just do it like you did with Diamond. And like, okay.
Yeah, no, you're right. There are some that kind of cross over there. And I always like Leviathan. When I first started playing was, I think, the Extreme that was out at the time. I think that's when I started playing the game. I remember the upcoming one was removed, so that was Leviathan at the time was the one, right?
That was second.
It was after,
right? 2.2 through the Maelstrom.
2.2.
Yeah.
There's a Realm Reborn, a Realm Awoken, then through the Maelstrom.
Mm-hmm. I had a lot of fun with that fight because I just got really used to it, and I was like, well, people suck and they die. I'm like, I don't suck. Look at me, I'm not falling off this platform. I'm awesome at like crazy platform stuff. And so it helped my confidence a lot. So that's why I might go into it again. I still haven't touched any of this stuff, but I need a clear Extreme.
There's a new necklace. There's no new mount. So like the faux hollows is whatever. Mm-hmm. Unless you want to keep getting the old stuff.
Yeah, probably need to.
So my take is that Leviathan Unreal is harder than Leviathan Savage.
True.
It's true. It's probably true. I mean, figuring out the puzzle might be harder on Leviathan Savage.
Yeah, it depends on if you're seeing black smokers or not. That's a big factor. Just like
the average player
is harder
does
than the others if you have to see second limit cut.
Yeah. You know, if I had my old raid back again, dude, we'd see every single mechanic. I was remembering, what was it, A11. We were seeing mechanics people didn't know existed, like because you have the 3 towers, and then he'll restart the rotation if all the towers aren't dead, and like go through all the things again. And we're trying to map out what to do after it restarts the loop, and no other group had to deal with that. Oh boy,
I think we purposely nuked a tower because we were ahead and we just wanted more space.
Yeah,
a lot of people did that.
Yeah.
We did mechanics. We didn't know how to press our buttons in the right order. All right. So the next thing that came out that's making a pretty decent deal is Nier. right?
Mm-hmm.
Has everyone done Nier here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Did you guys all play Automata?
I do.
No.
I played Automata, but I have not played the original one. I'm going to play the re-release soon.
Yeah, I'm going to do it too. It's next week.
And I haven't played any of the Drakengard series either. So
Yeah, I've only played Automata as well.
Yeah.
I watched friends play through it. I mean, I didn't see all the endings, so I know there's a lot, but I'm up to date with the lore.
All right, so we'll do our best not to completely spoil everything for Ren. All right.
Thank you. It's a very new game.
So at the end of the game, let's list out every ending and what happened.
There's one where you eat a fish and you die.
Yeah, that's one of the endings out of the
There's
26 I think there are.
You fight Omega MNF, right?
Yeah.
I remember when they came out, people were saying it was like a direct Nier reference with Adam and Eve.
I mean,
but
not really.
It's not direct, game, so but they're
Wasn't that also because like someone leaked it and called them Adam and Eve at one point?
Yeah,
or something?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. My experience with Nier is I played it for maybe 5 minutes and I unequipped my hard drive, and it was game over.
Your OS chip or whatever it was. Yeah. But I mean, you just start again. I mean, that's you completed one of the endings. You beat Nier. Technically.
There you go. Credits rolled.
Yeah. Then they have like a self-destruct. You press like 2 buttons and you hold it, and then you're like, okay, well, I beat it again.
You blow up
and that's just Nier.
It's one of the endings.
Yeah. So most of us are all on the same page with Nier, because I am going to play Replicant next week. And that will be my first and anything besides Automata. Outside of talking to Mr. Klimps, who's like a super hardcore YouTube Nier person. And so I got a lot of story that I didn't think I would ever get. So doing those episodes, I've learned a lot. And Larry's are, of course. But when we were doing this raid, it was pretty much like the entire series seems like it's like, hey, you're playing the game Nier, and you're just like throwbacks. It's just a throwback of going through a playthrough of Nier Automata is what it felt like. And they did it again here at the end, right? You're kind of going towards those end steps and end levels and everything else.
The final tower from Nier Automata, that's kind of like what the raid is.
Yeah.
For the Tower of Paradigm?
Yeah.
And I really hated the dwarf involvement, man.
They didn't do anything. They didn't do a goddamn thing the entire time. Yeah. One of them dies, the other one fucks off, and Listen, I'm upset about this.
Go raid. Do your thing. Say what you gotta say.
So they did not integrate it into the story at all. There's not like so it's just blatant fan service all the way through this Nier Raid. That's all it was. It's like, hey, you get the 2B outfits, you get the cool outfits, listen to this awesome music, and then the raid mechanics are all fucking forgettable. I had to go back and do the second raid again because I couldn't remember a goddamn thing about it. Turns out every boss is just like a circle in the middle that spins around and does shit. You get 2 of those in a row. And fuck, man. And like the dwarves never did a goddamn thing. And they just, luckily, everything's just sequestered off in the first in a nice little crater off in the corner of Kalusha, and we never have to worry about it again.
It's just his own little thing. We're done with it. Yeah.
Because like you look at the other raid series, you've got Crystal Towers, Final Fantasy III fan service all the way through, but it's integrated the story. We got a whole expansion about it now.
Yeah,
all the way back to the Crystal Tower. Yeah, it's directly required. It's actually integrated the story. Void Ark. I mean, it was better integrated than this, at least.
The fan service, like what happened to the 13th and stuff, right?
Yeah. There's it helps expand the lore of the world. This one is just like some Nier stuff showed up, and now it's gone. All right, cool, bye.
Well, they also had Cat Sith, right, in Void Ark 1.
Oh, yeah.
And that felt right. It felt
and
like
you fought Diablos in a dungeon, and then he came back in the raid.
Yeah. And then Rabanasti, we got the whole Ivalice stuff introduced. We got led into Bozja.
And Bozja, yeah.
Yeah. And so there's all this stuff that's well integrated into the story. It's integrated into the lore. And then Yoko Taro shows up and does his thing. All right, see you later, Yoko.
Here, copy, paste. All right, I did it. Paycheck. I'm ready for.
We get the final Nier installment in Final Fantasy 14, and then next week we get Nier Replicant. It's like big advertisement.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, that's how it worked out. It was just a pretty big.
That's why the end of the story is weekly gated. So you're like, oh yeah, it's actually not gonna be a story. It's just gonna be an advertisement that plays when you do next week's story or whatever. It's like
we made a joke when you get to the final boss, and it's like, to complete this raid, please purchase Nier Replicant.
Oh god, that would have been amazing. But
Yeah.
Thank you for raiding.
we were thinking we were gonna have to delete our characters to beat the final boss, but luckily that wasn't a thing.
Yeah, that that would be pretty good though. That would be pretty good. I think I don't know. I think this it had some cool stuff in there though. There was a little bit of stuff that was interesting boss wise, wasn't there? Or am I just imagining that?
No,
Balana, you're
fights
completely
sucked. All these new fights sucked. Every single fight was like, is it going through the middle or the edges? Guess what? There's two of them now. Oh, one's doing the middle, one's doing the edges. Where you gotta go? That's every boss.
I would say the complex mechanic. The complex mechanic is something we've seen. So Final Fantasy, I mean, Balana, or you're no strangers to this. Once they create a new mechanic, you're going to see that for like the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
In Final Omega, we got these arm attachments that started spinning these lasers. And ever since then, we have Eden Prime starts spinning. And then you get the third boss here. And the only complex mechanic is these ads just turning and shooting these bubbles at you. That operates the same way, where you're just, are they going clockwise or counterclockwise? So it's neat if you've never seen it before, but we've seen it for like 2.5 years now in a bunch of fights. So I mean,
and they're not even all that complex.
No, they're not.
You find the little girl, you stand behind her at the end.
Because she like pulls them and moves them around, and then you just gotta pay attention to the way they're facing. Which
there's an open spot. There's always an open spot. You go to the open one.
Open spot.
All right, Oryza, you gotta put your 2 cents in here.
I like the 24-man.
I like the 24-man. It just wasn't very hard. The final fight was super cool. I don't get any of the references, but I thought it was thematically awesome with trains and stuff.
If we're talking fan service, I'm finally getting fan service for me. I don't play any other Final Fantasy game. I don't know what's going on in Ivalice. I have no idea. Like tactics, like it's just bosses, dude. I'm playing doing this. I'm like, oh, I recognize this music. I recognize these characters, even though I stopped reading the story because I hated it. Like I still like can see things that are kind of cool. Like like I don't know. And then like the thing about, I actually felt this way the whole expansion. People complain a lot about Puppets, Bunker, and Copied Factory, and I'm like, and I hear a lot of comparisons to the old 24-mans, right? And like in my mind, if we compare them one by one, so we compare like series by series. So compare Nier to Crystal Tower. I actually can't speak to that because I didn't play back in A Realm Reborn, so it's just like I don't even try. There's no point, right? Because right now
you missed most of the mechanics.
It's way too easy, yeah. But we compare it to like Void Ark, and I'm like, fine. Void Ark was like way harder, like the series, not Void Ark itself. Void Ark itself was really easy, but like Weeping City was a lot harder. Dunscaith was a lot harder, and Dunscaith's my favorite 24-man I've ever done. But like in my mind, I'm kind of like in Heavensward, everything was a lot harder. Like Alexander was way harder. It doesn't like we're not going to just be like, oh, this tier isn't as good as Midas. Actually, we do that, but but we should
all the time.
Like right, but like I don't think anyone has an expectation that when a tier comes out that it will be as good as Midas, because people know, or like it will be as difficult as Midas, right? Because people know that it's just not going to be that hard. And like I felt the same way comparing the Nier 24-mans to the Void Ark 24-mans, right? Just things in Heavensward were harder. So then that only leaves like the last comparison to Ivalice, and in my mind, it's like they were the same to me. Like they're just these things, and like you probably wipe maybe if someone doesn't know what they're doing, and like maybe you wipe day one because you don't know what's happening. Otherwise, it's just like, look at the boss, go here, like in, out, spread, dodge a thing. Like I don't know. I feel like when I think about the Ivalice 24-mans, like there are ones that I really liked. Like I think Thunder God Sid was a really really is a good one. I liked that water one at the start of
Mateus?
Yeah, I think that was Mateus.
Where it like freezes the path.
Yeah, and then like a bunch of ice things fall from the sky. Yeah, I like that one. But like when I do them, I'm like, this doesn't feel any different from when I'm doing the Nier ones. I would say like the Nier ones, the main problem with the Nier ones is that they start looping too early, like their mechanics. Like they the third boss didn't do this, but the first, second, and fourth ones did, where they just started looping what they were doing really early on, especially the fourth one. Started looping at like 50% or something like that, and I was like, oh my god.
But the first boss had like 3 mechanics. Like a front side, and then some orbs that went across, and a knockback.
It was like
Right.
middle side.
You just described
the
every
top
Nier
right.
boss, Rin. Sorry.
Yeah, I will say there are a few things that I did notice, but like I guess like when I do a 24 man, I don't know, maybe my expectations are low. I just like I don't expect it to be crazy, so it's like it's fine. Like the first boss, or rather, as you were saying, Balana, like every boss had either be in the middle or be in the sides, and almost every boss spawned a clone. When the third boss spawned a clone, like she spawned sideways clones. They didn't do anything. They didn't do middle sides, but when she did that, I was like, oh my god, like every single boss does this. But like there are a few like things I thought were cool. Like the third boss had that one part where it spawns a white and black meteor at the same time. And a lot of people didn't realize that there's two meteors. They only saw one.
I didn't remember there was two. I thought there was always one.
Without realizing the colors like negate the meteor that you're getting hit by.
Exactly. I really like the third boss actually. I thought that was the best one.
I agree.
The fourth boss, like I'm trying to think. The fourth boss wasn't.
I like you have to look down. You see the building coming up at you. That
was awesome.
That was neat.
Yeah,
that got
but it only came up one way, right?
It's got like two different like orientations it can do.
Does it have two? Okay.
Yeah. There's a little like countdown if you're looking down at it with these clock things that tick down. But like I think the first time we saw it, all 24 of us died.
Yeah.
Or you just don't expect to. You're like, well, why do I have to look down?
Yeah, you see a little timer and you're like, I don't know what this is. And
then
they flies up.
They give you the AoE marker right before you can do anything about it. You're just like, hey, you don't want to be here anymore.
Oh. Yeah. I think it was kind of neat to see some of it. I did. It took me a second to figure out that I was a ship. Right.
When you do the little blasty section.
Yeah.
The hacking minigame was so sick. Like
that was nice.
I liked it.
But it wasn't as responsive though, right? You're like you press it once, like doot, and you're like wait a few seconds. Dude,
it's on the GCD.
Yeah, I mean, like the Nier, it's like a twin stick shooter, so you just hold the shoot button and it will shoot forever. So I don't think Final Fantasy 14 has a thing where you can hold it and it will just keep shooting when you hold it. I feel like that would probably like the whole game engine would just collapse on itself if they tried to make something like that. So
yeah. I think that's when they introduced the white and black like shield and matchup thing, right?
Yeah,
earlier in the fight, but
they did it earlier in the fight with
really
like these dive bombs things that you had to dodge. There's just like shots coming from the sides of the arena.
The laser things you had to block them with the same color, and then there was one meteor before the ad space as well. It was a white meteor you had to block.
It like sucks in a light part. It sucks in one of the alliances.
Yeah,
and they're in the center.
Then they can break the black walls, and then a white meteor drops down the middle.
Yep.
I will concede that was the one good boss in maybe the entire Nier Raid.
There's like a jump scare in it too, and I people complained about that because they said they were sensitive to it. I didn't understand because I don't get the references, but I liked the fight.
I thought the second boss was just trash.
Dude, the second boss. Okay, I was hyped about it for a different reason. Again, I don't know much about Nier, but I know a lot about Gurren Lagann, and they looked like gunmen, so I loved that. But tanks don't turn the shield boss to the center.
I've got to run over to the other side, get in front of it. All right, got my dots up. All right, good luck.
So if you try to provoke from the back, it'll reflect the provoke. So you got to run in front to provoke it to turn it around for the party.
Funny thing actually though is you still do half damage to that thing, at least from what I could tell based on my DCD. So like you don't want to do it unless it's like very high value dots or anything. Which is
best of my knowledge, once you kill one, the other one just starts crying until you kill it.
It does
enrages.
It does raid wides, but they're really slow.
But they don't hurt.
No, I thought that Casper blows up based on his HP. Yeah,
no, it's finished a few times. It just keeps repeating it, and it drops AOE puddles that you move out of the way of.
Oh,
I think
I've only seen the initial
we killed him
damage.
like right at the same time. So
I think it's kind of like Omega MNF normal mode, where if you kill one of them, the other one just starts spamming stuff until it dies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All I remember is when we pulled them, like, wow, this trash has a lot of health.
The other thing about those two bosses, though, is that I believe it makes the lower health one the shield every time. So they're pretty much going to die near the same time every time anyway.
That's I didn't pull it enough to know. I mean, I generally didn't mind the bosses, but I really hated the trash package between the second and third boss. They're so spread out.
Well, I was like, is this a boss?
It's like bowling with a golf ball.
Yeah.
Oh, the best thing about the 9S's is you see all the ley lines in the middle. One has to run around the edge, and there's nothing the Black Rages can do about it.
That's not bad. It's
so
when
great.
it's when all the like the 2Ps are on the field and they're just
Yeah,
so
that's
spread
fine.
out. You can't hit them.
They're perfectly in formation that any AoEs will not like hit them. Bane has just enough range to like kind of hit the next ones, but they this is like a practice formation. They're ready to take these Venturers out. They know our ranges.
Yeah, you have to like stand in between them and use Holy. Like only self-targeted AoE would work.
Horizon Warrior.
Like when I got to it, I was pretty much the first two bosses. I was like, oh cool. I guess the new thing is just no more trash. All right, cool. And then you get that, and you're like, well,
You get that. Makes
all
up
right,
for
this
it.
is very long trash.
And then there was that other trash boss, which was also the first boss, where it spawned a clone that did middle and sides.
Yeah.
the elevator.
Yeah, in the elevator.
Yeah.
I had a lot of
Yeah.
people complain about the elevator too, saying it gave them like motion sickness. I didn't really,
really?
get that, but people brought it up while I was streaming. So I'm like, oh, I guess I'll just look at the floor the whole time, so they don't have to see that. I don't really know, but
If they're
a lot of
paying
people said
attention
there's
to the
really good
background,
sensitivity.
maybe.
Yeah, because it's moving pretty quickly on the sides. I don't really know too much though.
And also, I'm not sure what mechanic it was, but some people were saying they're having photosensitivity to some of the mechanics.
It was the third boss.
The
they were
raid
saying.
lights, right? Because it like did that thing on your screen where like it would make
Yeah.
like that wind effect or whatever it was.
It's like your screen was breaking a little.
Hmm.
Yeah, people complained about that, and they said the sensitivity was for the elevator as well. Which I mean, I guess it's pretty bright, but if you've done like Palace of the Dead, it's kind of the same ashen effect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I have a completely distorted perspective on all that because none of that stuff affects me, so it's really hard for me to give a good opinion.
That's how I am too.
Yeah.
And so I it's probably justified completely that there are these issues and everything else. But I have to imagine it's pretty difficult to like account for all those, and like it you could be creative outside of it, but if you're not someone who experiences that stuff, you don't think about it maybe when you're making the content and dealing with it. So I don't know. Like I love jump scare. I love like stuff showing up on my screen. I used to like have so much fun when I was a kid, and you play that Flash game where it's like the maze, and you're like trying to like get your cursor through the maze and get to the end and not hit the sides.
And the lady just
You like that?
I loved it
okay.
because it's like I gotta beat this, man. I gotta do this.
I just remember seeing like a compilation video of the people punching their monitors and when the scary
Yeah.
face pops up.
Yeah,
That's the best
those
part
are
of
pretty
that.
Funny.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's kind of like playing Operation, right? That's kind of a jump scare, too, isn't it? Like you hit the buzzer, you're like, oh.
In a different way.
Yeah. I was watching this is completely off tangent, but we're going into it anyways. I was watching this YouTube video where this young girl was like playing one of those things where you had to put all the shapes in the right spots, and if you don't do it quick enough, it pops everything out. And she was like
remember
crying
that.
while she was doing it. She's like, I don't want it to pop. I just reminded, and then afterwards she was like, let's do it again. I want it again. And she was like, what am I gonna do? Because she just wanted to beat it and not get the jump scare, but she was so nervous while going through the motions. Some kids are adrenaline junkies from a young age, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, Nier story, Nier stuff that we're dealing with. It's wrapped up except for like 2 weeks. How do we know it's 2 weeks again?
They said the number of quests on the patch notes.
Okay. So we went through the copied bunker, right? And we got the stuff. I guess we went through the copied factory, sorry. Then we go through the puppets bunker. I guess we'll collect stuff. Yeah, and then we go through this tower at the end, collect stuff, and I guess
It's
we're
gone.
done.
Tower's gone.
Oh, tower's just... Oh, I guess...
Tower's
yeah.
gone.
That's why
So
the
where do
dwarf
we
stood. Dwarf went through.
Yeah, oh yeah. I still don't understand why she went through. Why'd she go through?
Not explained.
She's like, I gotta be on the other
They said
side.
they got to go to the other side to close it, and then like 2B and 9S said they had to not be in our world to close it. So why didn't they go through? I don't know.
Yeah.
Not explained. They explained shit. It's not integrated. It's just
Please
go
play
tower
replicant.
stuff. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there was stuff from Drakengard and there, and some people were nerding out about it, but I mean, it's just like references. It's just like AT-AT showing up in, Rogue One or whatever. Like, it's just straight fan service. Just
Wait,
there.
Isn't that like everything in this game though?
Yes.
Like, wasn't even this like
Yeah,
that?
this game-
And I remember
Yes.
like
But they integrate it to the story. They give a
Omega's so
reason for
great.
these things to happen.
I mean, when Tiamat shows up in the new dungeon, it's fighting with you. Oh, it's so fucking cool. And then you got
but
like your
that's
friends
referencing
battling,
14
and the
itself,
kobolds are
right?
there, but
That's
it's explained.
but that's like a 14. It's a insular reference, so like it makes sense because it's like 14.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you would think they should
like-
reference that if they're working on a 24-player alliance as well.
Well,
Like some sort of
technically,
wrap-up.
Nier isn't Final Fantasy, right? So
It is now.
I guess it doesn't integrate as well. I mean, it is really weird. I gotta say, it is like when we're going through some of those dungeons, I'm like, this is just a screenshot of Nier, like Automata. It's like so perfectly done.
The Monster Hunter crossover is better integrated than the Nier one.
Okay,
That's true.
I can give you that. I can give you that.
What about the Omega story?
It's got
Omega was a story, I guess.
It's got a lot of setup and payoff. There's stuff that's linking back to Omega in the MSQ now for
Not Omega
Shadowbringers.
itself. I meant like the fact that it summons like 8 things from just Final Fantasy 4 and 5.
Oh yeah, well
They're Garlean fairy tales. They're in books in Garlemald. That's the Phantom Train.
You don't skip the cutscenes, Oryza.
I know. I actually read those.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, and I thought they were terrible.
Well,
the Omega story wasn't great, but it was just a vehicle for fan service. This one,
they
Nier
gave
Steam have a
themselves
vehicle.
yeah. Well, I mean, they're gonna sell a whole bunch of copies next week because I'm gonna buy one. I would have bought it anyways. To be honest with you, I don't think I played Nier until the announcement came out that it was going to be part of the expansion. So technically, they sold me. Okay, they didn't sell me. I saw it and I was like, "Oh, great! Well, now the butt thing again. All right, now I get to see this game with the butt, and now it's in this game." And then I had a conversation with some people like Larry, and so I was like, "All right, well, this is kind of lame." And they're like, "No, it's a good game. You gotta play it. Give it a try." And I was like, "All right." And then I actually went through the game. I'm like, "Okay, I can enjoy this game. I understand it has 2 good parts to it. Right? It's not just the one." Because I have this tell when I'm watching like an anime. If it starts off in like a girl's locker room or something, it's probably not going to be a good anime. Is usually what I think. Then there's Kill la Kill, right? And how do you fucking like? I don't know. My whole meter for all this stuff's all like ruined. I'm sorry. I'm going to like completely.
Why did you?
I choose them based on the opening music.
Well, because no. So I was bringing it up because Nier, it sells very well because of the idea of showing off anime butt. It does.
It's a big selling point, yeah. The 2 booty.
Sure.
Yeah, I think. Oryza, you don't think that's true?
I don't know. I don't know why
Okay.
people buy Nier. It's not why people buy Nier. That's all.
That's
I
why
know.
people got the glamour.
It's true.
Yeah.
I get. Yeah. Yes, that's true.
And so going on that same line, that's why I saw it, and I'm like, maybe it's not a good game because it's just trying to. That's how it's marketing itself, right? That's.
Are you saying Kill la Kill's not a good anime?
No, I'm saying that like Kill la Kill is in that same like atmosphere of like, oh, yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I feel like a creep watching this anime, but it's actually funny, right?
You need to do a MogTalk on anime and invite me, and we'll just talk about anime.
Okay. I mean, technically, talking about Final Fantasy 14 is talking about anime. I mean,
People would show up to
no,
watch
no,
it.
you gotta
People
say
would show up
it.
to watch it.
Are we talking about redo of a healer today? Is that today's topic?
the
Forgot.
what redo of Healer,
Oh
huh?
God, no!
Don't watch it.
Don't
It's
talk
bad.
about it. We don't need to talk about it. It's okay.
Oh, you're trying to be an asshole to me, and I shouldn't listen to you. That's what chat's telling me, Oryza.
Oh, Angie is just. You can ignore her. It's fine.
Okay. All right. Anyways, all right. Nier. Is there any other thoughts on the Nier Raid? I think that's
The one thing I like about it is it'll be nice to get an Alliance Roulette.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next
This won't be
expansion.
so bad.
Right. I
Yeah.
thought we have that. Wait, I'm confused.
Is it an Alliance
it-
Roulette?
it-
Well,
oh.
I don't do Alliance Roulette
When
at
it
80.
shows up in Alliance Roulette, it will be nice to.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do they is is Puppet's Bunker and Copy Factory in there, or like none of them?
I don't know. I don't queue.
I'd be lying if I do.
I haven't queued it at 80, so
Do
I'd assume it's in there. But
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I think a lot of people do Alliance to level up, so usually you'll never see it even if it was in there.
Right.
They'll still just get Crystal Tower.
Oh, yeah.
It's just Crystal Tower over and over again.
People take off the gear and just queue for Crystal Tower. You manipulate the eye level.
I mean, also
really?
Want to do it for the two at one point, right? There's like you have to do Circus Tower over and over again or something.
For the stuff for the relic.
Yeah, and so you see that over and over again because it's a 15-minute alliance.
So short.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I don't know if it's that fast, but it's really short.
No,
like
it
15
is.
minutes.
Oh, is it actually? Okay.
Yeah, 10 to 15 minutes.
You burn through everything. You skip so much.
The Circus Tower is like 8 minutes with blue mages, but
Yes.
Blue mages. Blue mage. I'm gonna level up my blue mage before the expansion's over with.
it's fun. Blue mage is good content.
Blue
Yeah.
mage, and now tanks actually have something to do as a blue mage now. So just one button every 10 seconds.
Did they do a lot with blue mage in this patch? They did some stuff. I did see some notes on it, but I don't know what it was.
Not this patch.
Actually, they did. So a big quality of life thing now is you can save sets and it will save your hotkeys as well.
Right.
So you can do a whole healer setup, a whole DPS setup, and a whole
Mm.
tank setup, and just switch between them with one button.
Okay. Well, that's
In
good.
general, there was
That's
a lot
neat.
of like system improvements.
A lot of quality.
Everybody
of life.
noticed that their text changed when they logged in for their character. If you look at your name, and it was much finer now. People notice things about the icons for abilities they never saw before.
So I a lot of people were complaining about the font change because it was harder
Really?
to read.
I
I can
think
see it.
if
I
you're
just
on,
like it, but it's crisp.
I think if you're on 1080p, it looks a little grainy. But I'm not on 1080p, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, me either. I got cheapo set up. I probably could do it, but I don't know.
I was saying on like lower resolutions, like 1080 instead of like 1440 or 4K.
Yeah. Did any of you guys experience 4K yet? Nah.
Cards can't really run 4K like high frame rates yet. Even if
I'm a
you
raider. I turn all my effects off.
I would assume that with unless you have a really big monitor, like the difference in like visual acuity or whatever the word is, like it's not very high anyway.
Yeah, like 1440 high resolution is starting to become pretty like mainstream now. It used to be like really expensive, and 4K is still like kind of catching up in the affordability department. So I don't know anybody who runs a 4K gaming rig.
A lot better for like VR stuff. So I think that's where it's going to really start showing. Is stripes, but okay. The other thing. So I'm going to go ahead and say it and admit to it, is that like when I was playing the show out, I was like, Balana, do you want to do a Baja show this weekend? You know, they're going to release the new Baja content, and I feel like we could do a whole show on Baja.
Well, you didn't say this weekend. You said, do you want to do a Baja show? I'm like, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, all right, come on this weekend. I'm like, it's like coming out this weekend, right?
Yeah.
Maybe like the end of May.
I completely, that went over my head. I felt so stupid afterwards. Of course, like this Monday, I tried to do a stream.
Well, you had the best response though, was just, well, what the hell is coming out then?
Nothing.
What is happening even? So that show is going to be like next month at some point. I'm sure we'll talk about it. But they did have some changes. There are some neat things they did with it. One, they added the notoriety. So if you stay in, I guess, an instance long enough and you do all the critical engagements, you're going to get a solo duel at some point.
But you get the notoriety from the solo duels. I don't know if it's
from not being selected for it.
Yeah, it's
like you qualified and you didn't get in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I zoned in and did one CE and didn't get into the Gabriel. I'm curious if it's the notoriety carries over between like zoning in and out.
I thought it did not, but I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna go test it.
I didn't go back
now.
Oh, you're going to test it.
But this is actually something, Balana, you and I talked about on the Balls Just Show last time, was wanting a system like that for people that are kind of screwed. Right?
Oh yeah,
for trying really hard. So I'm glad they did it.
Yeah, that's. I feel like it was needed because it's just so random. And then like I was watching Happy stream not too long ago, and he was like, "Oh, he just got solo instance after solo instance or solo duel after solo duel, and he just kept getting them over and over again." I'm like, some motherfuckers just like get out everything, don't they?
Yeah, somebody
Like,
probably trying has been spending since it came out, still hasn't gotten in.
yeah, every time I qualify for it, I'm like, should I accept it? Because I've done one and failed, and every time I get selected for it, I'm like, I'll feel really bad because I haven't really studied for any of them, and so I'm like, somebody else might want it. It's okay.
So you do keep notoriety from zoning out and back in. So
Sweet.
Oh, so eventually you're going to get in.
You will get in
yeah,
eventually.
yeah.
It's pretty awesome. All right.
They also put things in to keep it from becoming dead content completely. Like if there's not enough people for a CE, or if there's like a bunch of people like leave the CE or whatever, you get Echo buff or Vuln up on the boss. I was looking at it. I saw a Reddit thread today that people did Castrum with 8 people with the new buff,
which is badass.
And they only wiped once, and they only saved 2 prisoners, but they cleared it with 8 people.
I'm just happy they got past the door, like the high and low bosses.
Yeah,
sometimes you can't get past that door. It's so stupid.
Apparently, the only tricky part was Lion, because they would just it would just pull random people up because they didn't have enough for everybody to like.
Yeah, because it has place for 8, right? So if you only have 8 people,
yeah. So they wiped once because their guy tanking DeWan got pulled up and then just killed everybody.
Yeah, what was they were calling it? Hubris.
Yeah,
hubris debuff. Yeah. And that's only if enough people sign up, but not everyone joins in, right?
Something like that.
There's also quality of life with the timer reductions now, right? When you clear a critical, doesn't it reduce the cast room timer?
Oh, is that thing?
Does it? I don't remember that. I didn't look
Maybe
that
I
closely, I
misread.
guess.
You did.
But that's more of a future-proof, like next expansion when nobody's doing it kind of thing, I would think.
Yeah. They split up the double criticals, so the one that nobody ever does might actually get people now.
Everybody goes for the avatar. Nobody goes for the bomb.
Yeah, the bomb and also the petrifaction guy. I've never done that boss.
I did it once for like the log thing you get from it.
I don't know the mechanics in that one. I've just pulled them like once or twice, and then everybody just immediately gets turned to stone and dies, and it's like, oh well, that's all 4 of us dead.
Yeah, no, that was definitely. I don't know what they were thinking when they were like, oh, there's gonna be so many people that they're gonna be able to spread out between these 2 different ones. I mean, that's the entire. That's not, maybe not
it's the entire. It's the entire zone. 72. It's 48 and 24. So.
Okay, yeah, it's right here. Completion of critical engagements and skirmishes will reduce the time remaining on the large-scale assault.
Oh,
it's kind of cool.
That's nice.
Which means now when you zone in, you're like, when's the last time it popped?
Who knows?
Now.
Yeah, it could be.
How much do you think?
Oh man! So there was one day where I was just
5 minutes or something. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to go sit in Baja like for 2 hours watching every CE spawn, get a spreadsheet going, see when it spawns after. And
yeah, man.
There was a time that I was just getting so tired of people asking about when it was that I was like, whatever. It's in 2 hours. I would say something like, yeah, it's 2 hours. It'll be up, or like it happened 2 hours ago. Just something fucking ridiculous. And they're like, okay, report Frosty. Because it was like, it's a joke.
You're a menace.
Don't ruin me. It's just a joke.
Who's the bigger menace? The person who's been sitting in the instance and lies, or the person who's hopping until they get an instant queue?
People in Bosnia are really mad though. I ended up Bosnia and I asked, and someone's like, "Can you just read chat?" And I'm like, "I just got here. Like, there's no chat to read."
It's probably getting asked every minute.
Yeah, it gets asked
like
every second. It feels like almost.
And there's another time before they buffed Castrum where like someone was saying that like we're obligated to help other people clear Castrum, and then they had this whole like 20-minute argument in chat about how like it's not worth your time. And the person's like, it is worth your time because you get I don't know. I don't remember what their justification was, but they kept arguing back and forth and then calling each other entitled and stuff. And I'm like, why is chat like? Why are people like this?
Because
like,
it's 72 people.
You spend your
man.
time like.
Yeah.
72 people who don't know each other, and they are in Baron's chat. That's, oh my God, yours did it now. Do you not see it?
No.
Am I the only one seeing his green?
I see it.
I see it.
Damn.
Dream sees it.
Oh no.
I don't know why. Whatever. It's all right.
Technology just hates us today. Wow.
Yeah, today has been like the worst day for this.
This is awful.
I just don't get it.
Maybe you could try to stop it and turn it back on again.
Don't.
Fixed it.
No, it's fixed. It's fixed. Whatever you did, fixed it.
I didn't.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, jeez. This cursed for sure. They also, you have a way of increasing your mount speed in Basha.
Oh, yeah. How do you do that?
I don't know, but I think I saw it in notes that you could increase it now. So that's going to make it, and that's great for me because I have so many jobs I want to level up before the expansion gets released, and Basha is just home.
Well, you're also going to level the new jobs there, probably, right? When ENJOYYYY comes
from
out.
70 to 80.
Would that be faster? I guess that would be the fastest way to do it.
Yeah, it's really fast.
It's pretty quick.
Yeah, because you can do it in like a day.
You also get to kind of start mapping out your level 80 onward because you'll be 80 in there.
Oh, 25 clusters. That's easy.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Like that?
I haven't spent money on anything, so I'm sure I can easily go get that, or clusters or anything. Clusters coins. I have like 20,000 coins. I don't know what to do with because I haven't bought any gear or anything.
Well, you can't buy clusters, so go
yeah,
find some
well,
Edge
clusters. I think I got some accidentally. I probably have that many at least. Yeah.
You just kill the Magitex in the overworld and you'll.
Yeah.
What you do is you go in on Black Mage, you pick them all up, and you hit them with Flare Star and run away.
Yes.
Right. All right, and then the other thing is they find these are all things that they watched the MogTalk we did last time, which I forgot we did apparently with both of you on there, but they made it to where you don't have to have 48 people anymore, and you can go in there at least 24. You need at least 24 people, and it makes sense.
Reasonable with reflex and stuff.
That's huge because when we were progging it'd be like, one guy DC'd, guess we're all waiting. Anybody know anybody else that can clear golems?
We literally had somebody come in while he was at work and he logged on and was just an AFK player to queue us in.
Yeah.
Hey, Ren, I could be your AFK player next time you need to do a run, all right? I'm just letting you know.
But as soon as you get past the first boss, they can't join you. If you AFK at the entrance, you actually can't get to the future parts because it's all gone.
They close off the teleports, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the fact that you could clear it without them is reason enough to show that this change was warranted.
It all comes down to who's your duelist, who's getting that duel buff, if they're big pumping or not, and they can just carry the raid basically. Once damage tracking finally started working and they got it tuned up, just like the insane numbers, people with like the duel buff and a flare star. And if you stack all the nonsense you have on them, like give them a dancer and then the summoner and a dragoon and just pile cards and everything on top of this one person. And they can just, I think once you get once the new gear comes out, I'm assuming it's going to be like the plus elemental level gear.
We'll get another set again.
I'm thinking there's going to be another set from the Z front, whatever it's called. Mm-hmm. You'll get that. You'll augment it from the raid there. And then you'll trade in your augmented judge gear alongside that to get haste and the elemental up, would be my guess.
That would be great. Otherwise, I could only, if they're going to stick to haste, then at least let the final set give us 1.5, right? Otherwise.
Yeah. Well, because we've already got the haste as the reward from Delubrum, and I don't think they're going to add more rewards to Delubrum. I'd be surprised if they did. So I'm thinking it's going to be plus resistance rank, or not rank, but plus resistance level instead of elemental level. So you'll just do crap tons more damage, take less damage, and if you just get one or two juiced out people, they can probably carry a whole DRS at that point.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm. So you're saying I can definitely be carried through Savage right now?
Absolutely.
Right now, yes. Later, absolutely.
Okay. For sure.
If you can listen, a shot caller can carry a Delubrum run.
Apparently, you can carry me through Diamond too.
True.
Oh, geez.
Diamond's actually, it's really, this is something I didn't touch on earlier. They future-proofed unsyncing it because mechanics will only spawn the number of mechanics for the amount of players there. So if you only have 5 players alive when limit cut starts, it will only give you 1 through 5. If you only have 2 players up when towers spawn, it'll only give you 2 towers, which is super cool.
Very forgiving.
I don't even think of it as like future proofing so much as like, yeah, it's forgiving. I mean, like the counter example is like, God, we all know E9 when one person's dead, then like someone's gonna get double Protean, someone's gonna get double stacked, or like,
remove it as a wipe on Furies. You just
if you don't have someone alive for Furies, 14, you would just die, and like, man, that shit was like so punishing, and like they did a really good job with Diamond Weapon where it's like, I think as we were saying earlier today, it's just like it's an intro. It's almost like an intro fight. It's weird that it's the last trial to be the intro fight, but no, it's fine, and it works well.
Yeah. I mean, technically, every extreme should be an intro fight to whatever tier it's around, right? So we have a couple intro fights for this tier.
Well, I think at one point it was the even primals are intro fights for the tier, and the odd ones are like midpoints for the tier. If you're having trouble like partway through the tier.
Okay, Thornton is the perfect example of being difficulty between A2 and A3.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So one quick note: Cruise Chaser mount. Apparently, this was data mined somewhere or something.
Well, we don't data mine. That's illegal.
Well, we don't.
We don't do that.
But I read the news. All right, I read news. All right, I watch the Reddits.
The prohibition period of data mining.
Yeah.
There was a Reddit post showing somebody on a Cruise Chaser, right?
Yeah.
That was not in the Cruise Chaser fight.
Yeah. So the rumor of where that's from is Yoshi P was doing an interview where he was saying a drop from the new Baja dungeon is going to be something that people want to get at any cost. So,
I mean, that's what it seems like. Yeah.
Other rumors, every triple triad card, right?
Could be.
Yeah, but Cerberus was also a rumor of 3 million MGP, and that didn't happen.
I don't trust rumors. But
I think it's more probable that it would be tied to battle content than it would something where you had to compete in a PvP triple triad tournament. That's not every day.
Well, the triple triad thing wasn't that, right? It was just gather every card. But
you have to place in those tournaments to get some of them.
Mm-hmm.
I never played triple triad, but
I mean, they've added some of those exclusive cards to fights that have come out later and stuff, and other rewards. But yeah, there's some very niche.
I also think it's going to be Bosnia. It just is totally
the new Bosnia would be pretty good.
It's either that or a PvP end of season reward.
There's no
I think we're just getting a recolored version of the outfit we just got, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be.
Which is a really cool outfit. Everybody should do PvP. It's a really cool outfit.
It is. PvP still needs a lot of it. You know, actually. Yeah. See you later, Balana.
See ya.
But no, like I was actually thinking about doing a show on Feast next week. Which
all
5 people will watch. What?
I said get all of the 3 other players on the show.
Yeah. There is a good amount of people who PvP still, and there's communities behind it and everything else. Shout out to PvP, PvPiza, and Revival Wings and everything
Revival
else.
Wings is doing like the chickens now, right?
Yeah, they're doing the chicken stuff. I think. Yeah.
Sunday.
Your boy. But there's a lot of stuff that could be really cool about PvP, but it needs attention from Square Enix. I mean, that's the end of it. More than just getting cool rewards. There's fundamental things that have to be addressed, and not just
the battle kind of sucks.
Truthfully, though, I feel like Square Enix doesn't necessarily care. It feels like they just care about the play rates and nothing else. So if rewards increase the play rate, then that's good enough for them.
And they are exclusive.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to make a call on that because
Fair.
I don't know what's going through Square Enix mind when it comes to PvP. Shadowbringers pretty much said it exists and we'll do stuff to just keep it floating, right? But not really advance it, and that's what it looked like. They
tried to push it hard in Stormblood, but
There's other things.
They neutered it in Stormblood.
Yeah, it was. They basically had to do a whole restart in Stormblood and start it with a whole new system that was different than what it was before. And a lot of people didn't like it, so they had a lot of people leave. But then some other people came in and tried it, but it wasn't enough to make up for the people that left. So they didn't really gain much ground. I don't know. Anyways, this is not the PvP show. We won't mess with it. We'll talk about that maybe next week. The main story, though. There's a couple of things we could probably mention. Oryza, did you pay attention to the main story quest?
What was the last thing I said? That I was on Garuda?
You're a Garuda?
I'm still on Garuda.
You'll catch up.
You'll catch up.
It's okay. We already circled back to Ifrit.
Yeah, we're already back to Ifrit, so...
Except this time Thancred was there.
Yeah.
Back in the Realm Reborn, he showed up just a little too late.
Oryza, what do you think is going on right now with this main story? I want to know what's in your head.
So I heard there's like an assassin named Damn Daniel.
Yeah,
and he is a really bad villain and no one likes him because he's like boring or something. Because he's like edgy in the shadow or something like that.
Okay.
And then I don't know, something about going to the moon.
That's all you know.
The moon, baby, diamond hands.
Oh wait, we released. Okay, actually no, we released Tiamat from the Azislaw jail thing in 5.5, and that's why That's why she helped us out in Paglethon, which by the way was sick. It was so good that she did attacks, and we didn't have to wait.
Yeah,
like the hero's gauntlet, or like where you just wait for the monk to do LB3. Like she
You're
actually
like,
just does stuff, and you don't have to wait that long.
This enemy's dying really slowly. Oh, never mind.
It was kind of funny when she came down and she was like just doing a regular claw attack. It's like kind of like just clawing and barely do anything. Then all of a sudden she's like breath and basically destroys most things. It's just like for some reason her bite's really not that strong, but she has a really, really bad flare breath or whatever she was doing.
Yeah, she's got to come down and auto buster, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. It was neat to kind of see them introduce her into it, and it does really lay the ground for I think what we might see in the future, because technically Mercury, by the way, Oryza, is probably going to be something that we see. Do you know what Mercury is, Oryza?
They were dragons in T13.
T5.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know, fun fact, I've never done T13.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ghosts of
really?
Mercury. They're the dragons.
I did
of the
unsynced,
land.
but like that doesn't.
The Scourge of Mercury and T5. Been in the game since Realm Reborn.
Yes, they have. When the dragons came to Heidelin, she granted them the ability to stay, and where they basically set up shop was Mericidia. And then the Allagons like just took them all and imprisoned them, and
Which
worked
they
on them and mutated
explained.
them and stuff.
They explained all within this story, the 5.5 story. You don't even have to know this stuff. They just kind of give it to you and tell it to you.
Maybe
I think we're going to
Plus story should do
7.0 for sure.
Yeah.
You think it's 7.0 we're going there? You don't think we're going there next?
No.
It's either Charlia or Mericidia for
Why not
next
both?
one. And then 7.0 will be the flip for that.
I suspect 6.0 is more likely to have Charlian ties because they've kind of been teasing that for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have Thavnair to go to, so we kind of already have a couple places.
Okay.
But Mericidia, they're like setting the stage, I feel like. Mericidia deserves its own expansion.
I feel like with 6.0, we're going to be like bouncing around all over the globe. It'll be like the end of a Final Fantasy game when you're in the airship going to like all the like remote locations.
Mhm.
That's what they're going to be going for.
And our Lunar Whale.
True.
Yeah. Oryza, what do you think the towers are for?
What towers?
The
The
one right
ones that
behind
summon Dark Falls.
the one right behind Rin.
What?
The one behind Rin
me
right now.
Dude, that thing looks like the Eiffel Tower.
That's what it is. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Implemented.
This is France in 2,000 years. It turns to a wasteland.
You're making me feel better. Like I usually get crushed by people on my lore episodes, and
glad you know
they
more
post
than
about how
someone who hasn't read
horrible
the
I
story.
am. Huh?
I said I'm glad you know more than someone who hasn't read the story.
Yeah, I'm glad I do too.
It'd be really bad if you didn't.
Yeah.
I don't
Sometimes
know.
I feel
Maybe
like I
it's
don't, but
shooting a laser beam up the moon to blow it up. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
He's like Dr. Eggman.
How about Estinian? What do you think of him joining us? You think he's
Yeah.
going to do it?
Is he gonna what?
You think he's going to join us?
I thought he already helped us.
is he going to join the Scions?
Oh, the Scions?
Yeah.
I don't fucking care.
Okay.
I don't know. Do people like Astidian? I look at him and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
People love
yeah.
People
Estinian.
love Estinian. Estinian and Emmerich, like Heavensward just gave us the
Emmerich.
best NPCs, man. Who's that?
that guy dead?
We helped him out of prison when we did the vault.
Oh, I like the vault.
And then his dad is coming in 6.1 for an ultimate that we're supposed to be getting in like 5 days.
His dad. Oh, is that
Supposed
Thornton's?
to know.
Is that Thornton's kid?
Oh my god, Oryza. Was there ever a
You
point?
should bring me on the lore show.
Yeah, was there ever a point that you paid attention to the story ever?
Yes, actually. So when I originally played the game, I read the
Okay.
story up through 2.2 or so. Like I kind of stopped somewhere in like that 100 side quest crap. Like
Okay.
you know. So I
Uh-huh.
read up to that, and I was like, I actually just read for like 20 hours of one of the worst stories I've ever read in my life. I'm not gonna keep reading this, and I stopped.
It is kind of almost like going through an encyclopedia sometimes because you're just learning facts and a lot of it you're just trying to put together and make sense. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
I mean,
Realm Reborn.
Even a few months ago, when I started rereading it up to Gruda, I was like, a large majority of these side quests are useless, and I do not care.
That's true.
And you might say they're setting the scene for like 5 years from now, but like I don't think that's good writing.
No, at no part did us going all over Costa del Sol to cook our own dinner.
Oh god,
At no point was that relevant.
Holy crap, that was terrible. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that was definitely the worst. And there's like so many interesting story elements that they just like don't touch on. Like there's like you go to subjugate. It was either Tyrant or Ifrit, and you talk and like they briefly bring up how like people are like discriminating against the beast tribes. I think who was
Yeah,
the
that's
cat
right.
girl?
It's brought up now in the 5.5 story.
Yeah, like 6 years later.
Yeah.
Like
A long time later.
who's
But yeah,
the
Y'shtola
Y'shtola,
wanted to
right?
fight
She
for,
like
like,
brings it up to like the head of
equality.
Limsa, whatever her name is, and then she's like, yeah, our bad," and then they never talk about it ever again. And I'm like, this could have been a really cool plot line, but instead we're just gonna go make wine.
It was last batch's plot line. She's like, we really should have beast equality for all. And then they're like, but we're pirates. And she's like, yeah, I can see how that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they actually brought that up recently. Oh, jeez.
Realm Reborn story is like season 1 of Star Trek Next Generation. Just does like a lot of world building, introduces some characters, doesn't really do a whole lot very interesting.
Yep.
But it's worth slogging through to get the setup, I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, and I don't remember all of it, so I forget some stuff. Like, every once in a while, a character will show up in the story. I'm like, who the fuck
Like the
was that?
Arenvald guy. And you're like, where did you?
Yeah, no! I was like,
You
who
have
the
the
fuck
Echo?
is this dude? It was like, he was part of, like, I guess the Scions or whatever. Not the Scions, but, like, the little league that they had going up into a Heaven's Ward. I forget what it was called.
Yeah, the
Crystal
Crystal
Braves.
Braves
Crystal Braves? Yeah, he was a part of that, right?
with the
Yeah.
hoary boulder.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought he was throwing out, he shows up and he just starts throwing out death flags left, right, and center. It's like, oh, I'm sure glad I'm here. 1 week from retirement. Oh, boys, sure love my wife and kids. Yeah. Oh,
If I don't use the
Suicide
power of
Squad.
the Echo.
Yeah.
Chaz told us we're wrong. He wasn't a part of that. So
Oh,
we're gonna
He's
piss
the
off a
Scion of the
lot of
Seventh
people.
Yeah.
But
I thought for sure we were gonna get an RP scene where we played as him or Fordola.
it looked like that. Like they even did the zoom angle during one of the cutscenes, like time to play Fordola, and then like, oh, continue cutscene.
Ugh.
It's like, okay,
There was no soul instance this time. That was sick.
Yeah. Well, it actually, I really liked the for the first 0.5 patch. This was actually a really good one because in 4.5 back at the end of Stormblood, it just cut off like right after your meeting with Solus. or whoever that was, the Garlean general at the time.
Yeah, we had the meeting in the tent, and then he's like, "Fuck you guys, I'll never have peace."
Yeah, we're going back to war, and guess I got to go to the Rising Stands and go to sleep. In this one, it's like, yo, we got the Eorzine Alliance. We're gonna handle these lesser towers. We'll call you when we need the big guns.
So
I actually heard that's interesting. I heard that the 5.5 story, so far at least, was did not leave people as excited for 6.0 as the 4.5 story left people for Shadowbringers.
But we still have the back half.
Yeah, I very much think that we're gonna get some big cusp thing happening in the next story building section.
So
this just kind of put us in the area because we just came back to the source with everybody, right? And now everybody's catching up with each other.
Yeah, that was 5.4 for sure. Then 5.5 was finishing up what we had lying around, and then starting up on the business with these towers.
Mm-hmm. So what I really loved about this expansion is it was set up so well that as soon as the expansion came out, they're like, it's time to go to a new world. And then within 5 minutes, you're into the new expansion, into the first and everything else, and you're trying to figure out everything. So I hope they kind of set it up the same way, where they're like, it's time to go explore the moon. Or probably not going to do that, but try to go explore somewhere else, right?
And you probably right.
Huh?
I would expect the moon to be the Lox, where it's the last zone or something.
Yeah, it's probably
I suspect we're gonna go through Thavnair to get to Garlemald. If you look at the map, that kind of makes sense.
You know what? We're gonna do a lore episode with the three of you coming up soon. We're gonna have one of those. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Ethis.
You got to get Ethis to just listen and just make faces.
Just make faces in the background. It's just see his face go beat red. And he's on mute the entire time. He can't say anything to us.
See some flailing arms and
just some cruel and unusual punishment.
That would be one of the most enjoyable episodes. We'll figure it out. We'll put that on the back burner. We'll call it skip cutscenes.
I'm really good at that. You got to practice for World Prog.
That's true. You don't have time.
All right. So honestly, let's. What else is there with this patch? Honestly, that we've done besides that was it, right?
We got Byakko crafted weapons. They look bad.
That was cool.
And the Hades ones too.
The Hades ones are cool, but the Byakko with the paint flying all over, those particle effects do that with the ultimate weapons.
But the problem is the Byakko base models are not good.
Yeah.
So,
now
have
it
you
gives people
seen
a reason
the
to ever
Byakko
use
fists?
them. Yes, I have. But the Dark Knight sword is awesome. You're swirling darkness around.
That's fair. Speaking of fists, though, also the diamond weapon fists are really ugly. I just have to say that they're gross. They're
a lot of fists are really ugly.
That's true, but they're another step out there.
Meanwhile, I'm out here manning summoner. I'm like, this is a nice rectangle. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What a different book I have.
Yeah.
This one's got something different written on the inside of it. Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, the highlight for summoners really should just be a horn on their head, and you just get cooler, different horns. I think they should really go a lot harder at that. But
true. I think we were surprised by the Byakko crafted weapons, and then people got to make a lot of money the first 2 days because Square Enix disabled world transfer.
So let's talk about that. Did they was that because there was just a bug or glitch? Why did they disable it?
I suspect there was a bug.
I mean, why else would they disable it?
Yeah,
they're getting ready. Maybe there was some framework changes to get ready for data center, and it busted something.
That's what I'm assuming. Yeah,
it happens.
Oh.
Yeah,
it was really good for prices on Gilgamesh. They were super low for the first 2 days.
I felt really bad for people who logged out on a different world. They couldn't access their retainers or anything.
Is it still disabled?
No, it's back.
That was the emergency maintenance the other night.
Okay.
That was insane.
Prices were really good for a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, and they also there's a bug in UCOB now where
the floating tower.
Yeah, on Heaven's Fall Trio, one of the towers spawns 10 feet in the air now. When the first screenshots came out of it, it looked like it was spawning outside the arena.
Yeah.
But it's 10 feet up on the edge. But if you stand underneath it, because the game doesn't know anything about Z-axis, it still works. You can still do it. But
it's really interesting that's a new bug, because there's been a bug in UCOP forever where if you jumped, the Mega Flare circles would appear in the air. Because if you were in the air when they appeared, they would also appear in the air. And it's really funny because those circles, because your camera's angled, and if you zoom it's on the ground, because like it doesn't really have a shadow or anything, it's actually like in a different spot than where you would think it is. So you just get hit by it, and you're like, why did I get hit by this? And it turns out the circle's in the air. So yeah, if you happen to see that tower, look straight down, or else you might be in the wrong spot for that tower.
Yeah. So that reminds me, when you're in that safety little ring before you go anywhere, you like try putting down waymarks like crazy. Eventually, you might get one down, and it'll be like lifted off the ground. So I wonder if there's just like a part of the game where there's just like 10 feet in the air. There's like this another little platform or something where things will go if things bug out or go weird. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. And people also were getting the dog minion icon for their minimap.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah. That was just file corruption, I think.
that's funny.
Was it? Oh, man.
That makes sense, actually.
And I was looking down the resolved issues list. It was like pages and pages long about all the different things. Like something's going on in a rampant. It could be related to the PlayStation 5. You guys, no one plays on PlayStation here, right?
Good luck getting
in general
PS5.
no.
But no.
I mean, I have one.
I would anticipate that PS5, the UI thing, and the data center travel, all of those can be very, like, huge sources of bugs. So
absolutely,
it's good, and it makes sense to use like the next 6 months to iron that out before the expansion comes out.
Yeah.
If you're on a solid state, the load times are amazing right now.
Oh my god, they're so fast.
yeah,
it's incredible.
I haven't done too much testing with it. I am on a solid state with it. I am curious.
I don't know if they separated the way you load into the zone from the players now, because now I'll zone into the area and I'm like, there's nobody here, and like 100 people show up. You're like, oh, okay.
The pop in is there. I think that it was just like artificially inflated to prevent that beforehand, but now they're just like, screw it. It's been really bad for hunts actually, because hunts are really big right now because you can get the upgrade material from the nuts.
Yep.
So everybody's out there doing them. And if you're not quick on the draw, load it in really quick, the zone becomes congested and like people can't zone in. So.
Did they do the congestion trains where they like the announcer doesn't tell you where the hunt is? They just say go to the safe right, and then they wait for like a minute, and then they tell you where the hunt is.
They call them vibe checks.
I still don't understand it, and I still don't get it. Why people care about upgrades and stuff for gear at this point. Because you don't.
A lot of people just want best in slot.
There are still people who don't have best in slot because they're not clearing the later fights, so this is their option.
I don't have best in slot.
I guess so, but you don't even need best in slot to clear it, right? You just need some gear.
So what people, I think, like for this is, I mean, think about Alexander the Creator, for example, or basically any tier before Ultimate even existed. Like people wanted best in slot because it was an achievement to have best in slot. Like best gear wasn't like a thing for, like, people didn't think of gear as like, oh, I only get gear for ultimates until ultimates came around. And even then people didn't think that way, I feel, until like more recently, like with like maybe T around then. Like I remember people not really talking about it too much in Stormblood, but like, I mean, I know not a lot of people.
It's
like
also
geared
glamour. You can't die an unupgraded weapon.
Yeah, that's what they're saying in chat.
Yeah. It's also at the end of expansion gear is super valuable because you're gonna be using this until level 85.
Correct. And then you'll start getting your first upgrades, which is gonna carry. If you're a tank, like you're gonna get trucked if you don't have that going into that dungeon.
Really good on a healer too. Like my intent was like to wait for Echo to come out and then just like spam and to get Savage gear for everything because I don't like farming.
Kind of.
Yeah, just do it all in a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
that's kind of what I was thinking too.
Matter.
Yeah, just farm it like when it's there, and people can do echo, people can do all other stuff. It's like why waste time trying to get, like, I didn't even care if I got the mount, which I did recently get the mount for E12S.
That's cool. Nice.
So because I could just farm it later at some point and I'd get it.
I have one E12 clear, and it's with people who had been farming it for a while. And they're just like, you just have everything. So I'm like, I'm coming back here.
One and done.
Nice.
Yeah, sometimes people just want to upgrade items just to get the upgrades.
Oh, actually, someone in chat says that people are locking Diamond X to 525. I actually saw that on NA, and I couldn't join it because I'm not best in slot. And I was like, wait, this is so stupid. I can't even join Party Finder.
People were locking Leviathan retelling to 530, which is not the best in slot eye level for healers.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, yeah. I'm not going to run the speed kill set, but if you do, it's 529.
There are people who only got that, though.
Yeah, that's true.
They just don't have the extra island level.
Wait, what do healers slot that keep them from 530?
You have the crafted ring.
Oh, okay.
And now 3 of the tanks could run a crafted ring as well if you want to gain 2 DPS over the course of a fight.
Oh, with the new crafted ring,
but it saves you the tomes.
Do they do the thing where you can get like the upgraded crafted ring? So now they might be 530 because that's a 520 ring instead of a 510 ring.
All depends on how they're going to round it.
Can you overmeld those upgrades? I've never actually gotten them.
But you could still double meld them.
Yeah.
So in terms of tanks like non-warrior, you're going to trade skill, speed, tenacity for crit debt.
Big value.
Big value. You don't like tenacity? Taking less damage? Pretty good.
You also get to put direct hit in it. Skill, speed, tenacity, you're forced to put crit.
Sure.
Man, and I me over here like, oh, it's 530? Good. That's good gear, man. That's good gear.
That's what I do. If I don't have the gear or something for ultimate, that's just what I do. I'm just like,
upgrades.
Throw it on.
And my white mage has like 1700 piety. I don't care. It's got upgrades.
Exactly.
Oh. All right. Well, I'm trying to think of anything. We can talk about the stuff. The stuff that they're going to come out with in the next one is going to be Baja. What else comes out in the 0.5?
Second half of the story.
Second half of the story.
For people that care. Yeah, we're gonna get our balls to, which is presumably gonna be. Did they say more?
You
duels
messed up
as well?
every camera, Oryza.
Oh, no, Ori's all
jerk.
fucked. Now I'm Ori.
It's okay. It's all right.
I'm Rin now. Let me go get a
Balana
suit. Shit.
Yeah, go start. Yeah, start trying to look sharp. All right. What were we saying? What were you saying, Red? You know which Rin I'm talking about.
I gotta show my run.
Oh, you gotta change your background.
Yes.
Okay.
Now I'm Ori.
Oh my god. Nice.
What else
all right. So story, Baja.
That's about it.
But by then we'll have had Digital Fan Fest.
True.
So we will know what the other melee DPS is, and we got a screenshot of Thornton's arena. That was cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to go. Huh?
Somebody data mined a gunbreaker version of the Knights of the Round sword, I think.
Ooh.
It doesn't have like all the particle effects and stuff on it now, but there's a round gunbreaker model somewhere floating in the files there.
Okay.
I'm just leaving the cameras fucked up. I'm not fixing them. Oryza, you fucked up all the cameras.
I did?
Yeah, as soon as you
You're
turn it out,
Balana now.
it reprioritizes which cameras
I'm
where.
Balana.
Yeah. Whatever.
Grow a beard real quick.
Yeah. Just take your hair and just like wrap it around, like tie it off.
There you go.
Yeah. That'll work.
Perfect.
Yeah, speaking of FanFest, it's going to be really awesome to see all you guys there and go drinking and everything. Like, I've been thinking for that for quite a while.
Absolutely.
You guys get your COVID vaccines?
I do, man. I'm 2 weeks past getting my last shot, so.
Oh, wow.
I've not left my house.
I could literally do whatever the fuck I want now.
You can lick a bench, dude.
I could go lick a bitch if I wanted to.
You're invincible.
Oh.
Man, last January, I was all excited. They announced FanFest. I immediately booked an Airbnb with like 5 rooms in it. I'm like, gonna get all the boys in here. It'll be a great time. Have a party. I was calculating how much they could charge me if I throw a party there. I was just gonna add that onto the bill.
Yeah.
And then they just fucked me over when I canceled it. And when FanFest got canceled, they're like, here's $5 back. Like, but it was a grand deposit. They're like, yeah, here's $5.
I couldn't get my refund on my tickets for my plane.
So I had to get my credit card involved. And I'm like, hey, I booked this, 9 months out. Shit went sour 7 months out. Where's the problem here? And it took them until September, but I got my money back. So
nice.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard that like Airbnb. I thought Airbnb and like plane tickets bought way in advance were all like refunded. Actually,
no, they said COVID was not a valid reason.
I had a plane ticket to my cousin's graduation, and that got refunded. But I believe they did it in like airline credits or whatever. So it was like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, I got Southwest, and what they do is they just give you points, and you just use them on our flight. Like, whatever.
Southwest.
Yeah. And then, like, I think I had a hotel reservation, but all hotels, they're easy to cancel. If you go through a hotel, you can cancel that pretty easy.
Hotel we got refunded, no problem. But our plane tickets, we can give you a credit that's good for 6 months. I'm like, I'm not flying anywhere in the next 6 months.
Dude, we should have just fucking kept the reservations and just went out there and partied anyways.
My God, that would have been a thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
That would definitely have been a thing.
All the bars probably would have been closed though. We'd have to do some hoodlum shit.
Man, the bar and restaurant industry was they fucking figured out how to just make it work, and they did everything they could to like hit the guidelines they needed to stay open. So most places, I'm sure, would still be open. I've been watching that pretty closely. But anyways, yeah, FanFest, we got new Melee that's coming up. Right? What are we learning from FanFest? New Melee, a little bit more information about what the story is, I think, and we get the panels.
Yeah, it's tricky because we don't know if they're doing like a third event or if they're only doing the two. Because usually we have the 3 FanFests and you expect, okay, we get this one at the first one, this one at the second one, this one at the third one. But this first one kind of got like the same stuff as like the first and second FanFest. So it's a question if we'll get like 2 and 3 here, or if it maybe just the information from like what would be in the second one, and they do another event later down. But
we also don't have a media tour, which I doubt they're going to do this time around for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
They could do
like a digital media tour. Or something.
Yeah, like
go ahead.
Like Cyberpunk did it, where you'd play it over Stadia or whatever for their media previews. So maybe they do have some sort of streaming option they could do, and I'm sure that'd work well.
Yeah.
I was about to say they would have to find out some solution to like not, because it's like risky for leaks to have the people actually download the stuff at home.
Right.
So no controlled hardware
and then
setup.
it's risk for health to go.
You
to
could
the public venue.
You could hold up. You could do like a Zoom event, right? And then like you could do screen share, and then you have representatives controlling the screen, and then like the media representatives saying, "Hey, do this. Hey, go there." It'd be like,
Everybody,
Pokemon Twitch chat, but
everybody's
it's
just
But
back
this is for
seats.
old people. So for the young content creators for the media tour, do they just get like Snapchatted the information? It deletes in like 10
TikTok,
seconds.
Oh. Yeah. No, I hope it would be neat to have something like that. I don't know if they're gonna do anything like that, but
yeah, as well, I was saying like the information that we're getting is like super weird, because I remember like last time at the last digital FanFest, whatever that was, I was like, is this the first? Is this the second? Like, we don't really know how the timing lines up, but I think we might be able to expect. Do you remember that video that would show like the job actions? Like each job attacks a striking dummy for like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
We might be able to expect something like that.
So that usually came with the media tour.
Yep. They did last time at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So once they've concluded all the information and we know what we're doing, they showed Lakeland, and it was like a preview of jobs being able to do things, and that's where we were kind of like, oh, this is this damage, and oh, look at that, and oh, look, you could see the cooldown. It was after the media tour, and then obviously tweaks, but maybe they'll give it to us. That's my hope, is that they'll tell us the new melee DPS and then kind of showcase changes for jobs that already exist as well.
That's what I hope for too. I mean, like for me, like the only major information I'm looking forward to is like eventually they release like the job guide. It's like 2 months out, I think, or so, and it has all the tooltips and everything. And then I just read every single one by one, just like, all right, I need to know how every job works.
And then we all theory craft how it's all broken, and it's just
and then the patch notes, and then like the game comes out, the tooltips are different from what the website says, and it's just like, okay,
you make quick adjustments. Yes,
I would say E3.
Gunbreaker.
Yeah, I went to E3 like the year before Shadowbringers came out. Not Shadowbringers, Stormblood. And I was setting up, it was like the Susanoo trial. And I remember just like going through like all the tooltips with my phone, just like quickly taking pictures, like every single one, as I'm trying to set up my hotbars at the same time. And it was a bit of a rush, but got everything, cleared it for the second time. So.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I completely forgot about you going to E3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. But anyways, yeah, with that, we'll see, because I mean, we might not get the expansion until winter.
I would expect October.
I suspect October, and then the raid tier in November, and that puts us just before the holiday season.
Yeah, and then Ultimate would be like February. Generally, like everything's been 3 months delayed or so. So like July to October makes sense.
I don't have to worry about like an event for like 8 months. No. 6 months. 6 months. I got half a year.
Yeah,
I got half a year.
Long time.
Yeah.
You can put on some WoW events in the meantime.
Huh?
Yeah.
I say you could put on some WoW events in the meantime.
WoW events?
we got TBC coming out.
We could. I could jump on. I'd be like, hey, Asmongold, you want me to help out with your stuff?
I'm sure he'll respond in a timely manner.
Yeah. I was gonna say, in regards to the media tour and everything, when I captured a whole bunch of video of just like HUD-less stuff going through dungeons, I still randomly have people commenting on those YouTube videos, being like, "What song is this?" I'm like,
On the BGM.
It is the BGM. Yeah, it's like it's have you not played this game? It's been out for 2 years. How do you not know what the song is?
There are people who don't.
Oh,
Just keep it off the whole time.
yeah. All right, I guess we could wrap it up there. We
call-out
cover
post.
the patch pretty well, I think. There's not much more in there. There's ocean fishing, but
Oh yeah, the dolphins now. I still haven't done that. And the seagulls.
What's a minion, right?
Yeah.
I was hoping it would be a mount. A dolphin mount would be cool.
Oh no, they're
Dolphin
procs.
would be cool.
The dolphins and the seagulls are procs during the fishing. If a dolphin shows up, you get a buff. If a seagull shows up, you get a buff. Something like that.
mm-hmm.
I haven't done it yet.
I haven't done the original ocean fishing. So
It's actually halfway decent content. You get a lot of
not
yellow
bad.
scripts. You level up your fisher. Win-win.
It's kind of just chill. If you could watch something on your other monitor, if you got one.
yeah, I just don't feel like I have the time anymore. It's like I don't even have a Easter. I didn't even get the snowman mount.
Oh,
Right?
they added the feats as well, the fetes.
That was
in,
with the
Ishgard.
Ishgardian, the Ishgardian restoration stuff.
That was actually, it was kind of cool when there's just like tons of people all in one space. You can only see like people are only rendering like a foot away from you because there's just so many of them around.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
And they're not that bad, right? They're nice and quick.
No, it's all good side content. I'm going to say this. Like, I do this podcast, but I no way in hell do all the content in Final Fantasy 14.
You got to spend 50 mil on a mount?
What?
They've added those gold sync
Or
mounts
25
in.
mil for a mount. You can get both for 75.
What a
What?
bargain. They added gold sync mounts. There's the golden,
Golden Namazu and the Golden
Oh.
Serpent of Bronca. Right?
yeah.
Yeah. I barely keep over a few million gil. So
I'm
I
not
don't-
buying them. I
Yeah.
ain't got enough for that.
No,
Yeah,
I
save for
don't.
Prague.
True.
But yeah, I try to keep up with all the content, like raiding and what I can with PvP as well, of course, and then like the main story and all the really core stuff. Like I try to sink myself into, but side content I just get lost on, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, viewers, can you please support me and give me gil in the game so I can have my cosmetic needs that I don't want to work hard for? Guys, could you do that for me?
You watching too much Asmon there?
I don't even understand. Every once in a while. Anyways, we're this show's done. We're done. We talked about everything we need to talk about.
He's silencing us.
Yeah,
The show's lasting longer than the content did.
it is.
Sure.
Especially if you skip the cutscenes.
True.
Oh,
But-
there is one other really big change that came out.
Okay.
You can now sync dungeons to like the lowest level of the player in your
Oh,
party. It'll be within a
yes,
range, so
and leveling
you're not going to
roulette.
get like
Oh,
Sastasha
yes.
anymore. That is so good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You
Well, I
need
don't-
a pre-made for that though, right?
Yeah, pre-raid.
Who does
it's-
pre-made for?
It's 8 levels lower than the lowest level person in your pre-made is like the lowest level dungeon you can get.
Do people
think it's
pre-made your daily roulettes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah,
so.
so
It's a tank. I
casual
just click
content.
on it and go.
So I feel like you guys want to go do leveling roulette, sure. And you're like, I'll take 3 level 80s. And this person's like, I'll level my level 71. You're probably got a pretty good chance to get a dungeon that you're going to level off of instead of getting something like Copperbell Mines
That's
the
true. The
1,000
EXP
miles of
games are really
Totodile where
crap,
you're going to
yeah.
move slow.
Yeah, so like Honestly, I don't know about other players, but definitely like hardcore players, like a lot of them will pre-mate everything because I think a lot of people don't want to go through Duty Finder.
Yeah.
This is especially true for expert roulette because God, if you have to do expert, doing it in Duty Finder is the worst. But I think like people like always
You'll spend less time just killing Cloud of Darkness like 5 times.
yeah, honestly. But like people pre-made everything. That also probably contributes to why Duty Finder is so bad. Is because all like the best players are not queuing up because they're only pre-mating. But
well, I never pre-made, so I guess that says something about me, right?
Frosty, you're bringing up the average play level.
Oh,
Duty Finder, how respectable! Truly a pillar of our community.
Oh yeah, no, whole nother show. The fucking Twitter posts already. People are like casual versus hardcore already. Today I log on.
Today's Twitter drama.
Yeah, already Twitter drama.
I saw that earlier. Yeah.
I'm a Saturdays. What we got on the plate? What's going on?
Why are hardcore players ruining my Duty Finder experience? If I want to make a dungeon guide, not everybody's good at the game.
It's like Jesus. Anyways, you guys have been wonderful. Thank you for coming on the show. Absolutely excellent. I'm glad we could throw this together and talk about the stuff that I experienced and what I found fun, at least in the game so far. Fucking cameras. All right, so I'm going to do this by name and not by... So I'm going to say Ren. Ren's going to go first. Ren, say your last bits and where people can find you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ren. I hope you've enjoyed the show. You can find me at twitch.tv/Ren Karigani or on Twitter, the same. I like to do a lot of nice challenges like all tank stuff, and I'll be spending the rest of the expansion teaching people ultimates again because the content's pretty much wrapped up for Savage. So if you're down for that, come find me. And I'm not Oryza.
Yeah.
And thank you. I want to shout out a big thank you to people that have been doing events lately, like Phase Temperance has been keeping up population with high-end raiders who missed Ultimate now. We've been getting to do things. So thank you to people like that. And Frosty has been doing coverage for stuff and doing MogTalks. It's been keeping people engaged. So I really appreciate people in the community just pushing for things to do. It's been really, really nice. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. I will say I may join you on some of those Ultimate learning parties. Because I still have it, Still
Ultimate Frosty. You cleared the tier before me this time. You're a hardcore raider now.
I'm much more hardcore than Mr. Tempest group over here, apparently. All right. Fucking let me... Balana. All right, Balana, you go next.
Hi. I'm Balana. Thanks for having me on, Frosty. Always a fun time on here. I'm gonna have to piggyback off Ren and shout out to the people that make the content happen. Specifically, I'm going for the hunt train conductors. It's a big stressful time to be running a hunt and everybody's yelling at you like, I gotta zone in, I can't zone in yet. Thank you for putting up with all that guff and for the free nuts for putting all those things together.
I shout out your channel here.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, you can follow me on. You can follow me on Twitch where I stream sometimes. I was going to stream Diamond Weapon because I had a good title. I was going to call it Diamond is Unbreakable and stream Diamond Weapon Prague. But there's already like 3 people streaming in my group, so I just didn't even bother. But where I am slightly more active is on Twitter. You can follow me at Balana Rahl there. It's the same as my Twitch name. So
Yeah. All right. And Oryza, your last bits here and where people can find you.
Hi. Thanks for having me on. Other content people I want to thank. Thanks Yoshi P for letting me take a break from the game. That's really cool. Let's see. So I do World Prog, and I stream it. So if you want to see like Cutting Edge Prog, when that comes out, and you can follow for 6 months from now. So that'll be on Twitch. I'm somewhat active on Twitter, and then I do YouTube content as well. I make videos about Final Fantasy and also about other games, just like a kind of a mixture. So I'm Oryza Mercury on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. They're all the same. I'll post links. Chat.
Yeah, do it. Go. I got your Twitch in there, but
yeah, I do content. I PF and I help people clear Ultimate or whatever if I feel like playing Final Fantasy, and I just play Osu honestly. So
just okay.
Oh no, so you may know. Sorry.
So it's good. It's good. Thank goodness you're modded, so you didn't get banned. But anyways, guys, thank you everybody for watching. I know it's been like 3 weeks since our last episode. We skipped 2 weeks because one, recovering from the COVID vaccine shot that I got, which was pretty rough, and the other one was because we were doing the Hell Mode event from Phase Temperance, and so thanks everybody for that event and coming and helping to make that happen and watching that. We do plan to be back next week. I haven't completely submitted what that episode's going to be. Maybe it's going to be about Twitter drama. I don't know. It depends on what I think people would want to see. Although we do need to get a PvP episode. We haven't had one in a while, so that might be the spot that we do it. Because there is a new season of Feast out, which is probably going to be the last season of Feast. Because they may...
Ever?
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to bring it back after they do the new PvP mode. They're going to put it on pause, from what they said.
Oh.
So, I don't know. It's kind of a mystery when it comes to Final Fantasy XIV PvP.
So you better gorge yourself on the final feast.
All right. Well, guys, also I want to do a special thank you to my wife, Kerr, for putting up with me doing this every Saturday and the streaming that I do. Thank you very much. Andre Kane for music and the intro and the closing. Thank you very much, everyone. Patreon, subscribes, everybody that supported me in any way, even if it's with your eyeballs and ears only. Those are wonderful. I love those two organs. Not organs, what? Just parts of your body? Yeah, those are great.
They're organs.
Sure.
What? The organs? Yeah, I guess. Ear isn't an organ?
Yeah, it is.
Yes. Is it considered? I'm not a science major. I'm not a science person, guys. I'm not an organologist. I don't know these things. That being said, I'll be back next week with whatever we're doing next week. You guys all have a wonderful rest of your evening and weekend. Bye, guys. Bye. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Hey everyone, this is Morning Frosty here to come on and thank Patreon supporters. I definitely want to do special thanks to Nimic, who runs the Ock Morning website, Super Mew, who runs the Teamcraft website, Uni, who runs Phase Temperance, which you've seen the events here before, and of course our awesome supporters, Dude is Antonio, who has helped mod several events and keep the peace. D Fury, one of our new supporters, awesome to have him on board. Tag, also amazing support, has helped with modding and other events that we've done. And then Nami, another just really diehard fan that I really appreciate the support from. So besides Morning Frosty, I'm going to play a quick little video. And you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. See you next time. Bye.